Lugano, not far from here. He lives in a beautiful part of the world. And then we come to our American commentator from Boston. I don't know how you describe Boston. I've never been there. But it is Colleen Saville, and she will pick up commentary at the start of this race. Colleen, a very, very good morning to you up there. We'll hear from Colleen very shortly. We've had a few little technical issues this morning, it has to be said. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Do enjoy the morning and the afternoon. If you're still here, have a great, great day.
We're going back to our office upstairs. But we'll be back. We'll be back.
And a very good morning to you. Delighted to be back at the 1,000-meter mark with my Italian colleague, Tomas Cadet. Good morning, Tomas.
Good morning.
And we start the morning with the first race of the day. It's the Under-19 Women's Coxed 4. This is a test race, so it won't have any impact on the selection for future rounds, but it allows the athletes to get onto the course and beautiful Lago di Varese line up against one another, and it's a fantastic race experience to test tactics and strategies. Approaching the halfway point at the 1,000, the USA currently leading this test race, then back to Germany, the USA with just about a length or so as they come by the 1,000-meter mark. It's the USA, Germany, Italy running in third, back to Romania, and then the People's Republic of China.
Una buona giornata a tutti e benvenuti a questa quarta giornata di prove mondiali alla Schieranna di Varese. Condizioni del lago perfette e siamo già con la prima prova della giornata, la gara delle acque del 4 con Under 19 femminile, con gli Stati Uniti che ancora una volta in corsia numero 4 guidano il gruppo in questa specialità dopo aver già vinto l'oro nel 2021, seconda posizione per la Germania, poi l'Italia che schiera una formazione composta da Bianchi, Monteggia, Cuzzocrea e Pettinari. Ricordiamo Alice Pettinari, figlia di Leonardo, argento a Sydney nel 2000, una formazione veramente molto agguerrita questa, che già ha vinto gli europei in 4 senza in questa stagione. Via via poi le altre imbarcazioni con gli Stati Uniti veramente in grande spolvero.
These Under-19 women's coxed fours moving well through the third quarter of the race. Continues to be the United States perhaps sending a message, a new combination. Ella Casano in the coxswain seat, Sofia Greco setting the rhythm. Sofia, the only athlete here with junior international experience. She was 7th last year in the junior women's pair. The rest him making their international debut. And for the first time, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Colleen. Thank you very much. We sit here at 1500 and we're looking at this first test race of the morning. And it's, as you mentioned, Colleen, still the USA in front. The local crew, the crew from Italy, right beside that crew from America in the very distinctive blue rowing unisuits. But it's that Italian crew having some work to do, actually. Lots of experience in that crew from Italy. And the Cox Funky, Margarita Funky, there in the coxswain seat, knowing this lake by heart. She knows every inch of it because she is a local girl, so I guess she's going to have some support. Currently Italy in second position, but Neve, that American crew looks so dominant out in front.
So dominant. Now USA, they were on the podium last year. New combination, but they just look so strong there as they pass us at the 1500 metres. As you mentioned, Italy pulling very strong as well. And then a nice little battle over on the far side, Romania and Germany, and China now just passing us. China, of course, they are rowing in the women's 8 a little later on as well this morning, so maybe they're conserving a little bit of energy.
Yeah, I think you're perfectly right, Colleen. Neve. I think looking at the stroke rate of that crew from the People's Republic of China, 33 strokes a minute, taking it really easy and really going through the motions and not racing all out. And whereas I think the American crew leading are a bit more sharp. I think 36 strokes a minute, that's more a racing rhythm we expect to see from these coxed fours. But already coming into view past the 250 to go. Rob, America looking very good out in front. It's clear water, isn't it?
Seems to be that way. Thank you very much, Tim. Let's hand over to Luca to get this little finish underway.
Andiamo in chiusura, oramai 200 metri per completare questa prima gara preliminare. Gli Stati Uniti d'America continuano lì davanti a suonare la musica più potente, ma l'Italia sta rientrando arrembante con Bianchi Monteggia, Cuzzocrea Pettinari e Margherita Fanchi, la timoniera debuttante che vuole ancora una volta mettere in chiaro le regole. All'esterno c'è la Romania con la Germania, quindi Stati Uniti d'America insieme alla Romania. Terza è l'Italia sul traguardo in questa prima gara odierna.
So there's the hooter for the USA as they come across in first place. There's a nice battle for second, third and fourth here. Romania just taking second ahead of Italy in third. And it looks like Germany coming home in fourth. And let's just help the Chinese crew down to the finish line by giving them a big welcome home, ladies and gentlemen. So now we move on to the heats, and it's the first heat of the men's coxed four.
Ci spostiamo ora con le qualificazioni dopo aver aperto con una gara preliminare, rimanendo nella stessa specialità, il 4 con junior maschile.
4 crews contesting this first heat with South Africa in lane 1, USA in lane 2, Germany in lane 3 and Australia lane 4.
Che bello sentirvi così potenti, Sudafrica, Stati Uniti, Germania e Australia.
So the crews at around 750 at the moment. They're very nicely matched, all 4 of them, not much to separate them. Just the first across the line will qualify directly for the A final. The other 3 crews will, of course, have a second chance with the repechage, which will take place tomorrow. But let's see how these crews are shaping up then as they head down toward the 1,000-meter mark, where once again we can join Colleen.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Rob. It's shaping up really nicely here as these under-19 men's coxed fours storm down the course, looking for that halfway point to know that they'll move into the second half of the race, that 1,000-meter mark. At the moment, well, there's 3 boats in contention for just 1 spot to the A final, as you rightly said. I'd say the USA perhaps the only boat a bit off the pace. Still a long way to go, though. It is Australia leading South Africa, Germany, then back to the USA.
Siamo al passaggio dei 1000 metri con la prima batteria del 4 con under 19 maschile. 3 imbarcazioni che lottano per una sola posizione utile al passaggio diretto alla finale A senza passare dai recuperi. La Germania ancora una volta a condurre al centro del percorso, tallonata dall'Austria. Poi la Repubblica del Sudafrica, mentre gli Stati Uniti d'America pagano un po' lo scotto di una partenza fatta veramente molto forte. Mette il turbo in questo momento l'Australia in corsia numero 4 che si porta in vantaggio su Germania e Repubblica del Sudafrica in una gara in cui l'Italia è sempre riuscita a farsi sentire campioni in carica.
What a battle happening up at the top. 1 to advance to the A final and looking good for Australia and South Africa, but there's just 1 spot to advance. The Aussies training in Gavarate, perhaps that time in Italy paying off for them, Tim, as they move towards the final 500.
Yeah, I think you're right, Colleen. It's definitely a little bit of that home water advantage for the crew from Australia. They are leading with a little over 600 meters left to go, but there's a very quick crew from South Africa on the far side of the lake, and that crew is really hammering along 36 strokes a minute. So we look to the outer lanes to see which of these two crews progresses straight to the A final. And with that 1 spot, we have 7 entries. That means that from the heat, only 1 of these crews goes straight to the A final. So it really pays off to win this first race of your tournament. But Australia looking fabulous out in front, but it's just a canvas, Neve. But what do you reckon? Can that crew from South Africa get back on terms and even pass the Australians?
I think they might, and I'm not going to write off Germany just yet either. They are in lane 3 just as they pass us there now, pulling nice and strong there. They are looking very comfortable. This is a story about coxes, though. We have a 13-year-old cox in the Australian boat, Ryder Taylor. Great to see. Do you think that the coxes have an important role? Like, do they become sort of a coach for them out there?
Yeah, I think they are, and I think all these athletes know each other very well because they all go to the same college, St. Augustine's College in Australia. So they really have a great bond, and it's very special if you can go with essentially a club crew to an international event. So I think this Australian crew, they know each other perfectly well. So I think that coaching role from Ryder Taylor in the coxing seat and for Australia is really pivotal. But they're walking away slightly, Rob. They're increasing their lead over South Africa. But I think that crew from South Africa is still in contention if they can raise a very good sprint. And they are at 39 strokes a minute. But Australia also responding, going up to 40.
Un vantaggio importante per l'Australia, un'Australia arrembante, un'Australia che negli ultimi 100 metri continua a volare verso il traguardo sul Sudafrica. E poi c'è la Germania per la terza posizione. Australia lì al comando a dimostrare di voler mettere in chiaro le regole di questa specialità.
Yeah, it's pretty much been a two-boat battle, hasn't it, for this single A final spot. And Australia hang on. They take the win by a length ahead of South Africa in lane 1. Germany coming home in third ahead of the USA. So it's Australia who qualify directly for the A final. South Africa, Germany and the USA will have a second opportunity in tomorrow morning's repechage. On to Heat 2 of the men's coxed 4, and just 3 crews now contesting that single A final spot from this heat. It's Turkey in lane 1, Italy the host nation in lane 2, and Hungary in lane 3.
Seconda qualificazione del nostro programma, sempre 4 con maschile, Turchia, Italia ed Ungheria.
Colleen, we're just saying when we were down on the pontoon a few minutes ago, conditions feel very different out here today. We've got a bit of cloud cover. The breeze is quite noticeable, I think, coming down the course. Are you noticing anything different from where you are at 1,000 meters?
Yeah, it's a bit cooler, which I think the athletes will appreciate. It's been really warm in Lago di Varese, which is exactly what we would expect in July. But you're right, today there's a bit more cloud coverage. The wind was a little bit of a ripple, but truly it's absolutely beautiful at the 1,000-meter mark where these crews are now just coming past us. It is the crew from Turkey currently holding on to what would be that single qualifying position stroked by Yasin Sen, setting down 36 strokes per minute. The Italian combination just behind him, representing 4 different states, coming together and currently in contention, keeping in touch with the Turkish crew, but they're looking very strong through the third quarter.
La Turchia, dopo aver vinto il titolo europeo proprio alla Schieranna di Varese pochi mesi fa, in questa seconda batteria del 4 con Under 19 maschile dice ancora una volta la sua. L'Italia lì vicinissima, a pochi metri di distanza, che cerca di rientrare per andare ad acciuffare l'unica posizione utile per il passaggio del turno alla finale A, senza passare dai recuperi. Un'Italia che schiera Santo Zaffiro, Jacopo Sartori e Giulio Zuccala, che già sono stati medaglia d'argento proprio qui agli europei insieme a Marco Miatello. Oggi tornano in acqua insieme a Nicola Mancini per riprovare ancora una volta ad andare ad acciuffare il titolo mondiale.
500 to go. It's Turkey with Italy running behind them, and a bit of a family affair, Tim, in the coxswain seat for the Italians.
Yeah, I was hoping you would say that, Colleen. We can see Lorenzo Facci in the stroke seat for Italy, and we saw his sister Margarita in the test race of the women's coxed 4 just a couple of minutes ago, and it's great to see that family. We see that more often, like you have these rower families, and it's great to see them, and the support they're getting from the banks is also fantastic. When mom and dad have rowed too, they know exactly what it feels like to race, and they know exactly what their children are doing here, competing at the highest level at the World Championships on home water. But passing our commentary position, Niamh, it's still looking good for that fast starting crew from Turkey, wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. They are still holding on to that lead, but Italy now pulling very strong. All three boats here made it onto the podium at the European Under-19 Championships just a little while ago. One of the rowers from Turkey coming first, two of the crew from Italy coming second, and the Hungary boat coming third. Now, they have all made changes. Do you think changing and testing combinations is important at this point in the season?
Well, at this point in the season, that's a bit late. I would suspect to do that a bit more early, but well, you can make a change if you think it's going to make it makes the boat quicker. But yeah, it's difficult to judge it, and sometimes a very good crew which have really gelled together can get unstuck when you make a change. So I'm not one to judge here. We'll see what these crews can able to produce in the final, because all these crews get another shot at getting into the A final. But Rob, it's looking good for Turkey. They've really kept the Italian crew at bay.
Yeah, they're doing well. I think Italy have got their work cut out here.
Un'Italia che deve rientrare, un'Italia che deve allungare sicuramente il proprio passo, ma allo stesso tempo potrebbe essere anche stata una sorta di scelta strategica. Turchia davanti, poi l'Italia, terza l'Ungheria.
So Turkey crossed the line in first place. They take it by 3/4 of a length ahead of Italy, and about 3 or 4 lengths further back is Hungary in third place. So Turkey through to that A final directly, where they'll meet Australia. All the other crews will have a second chance tomorrow morning to qualify for that A final when they contest the repechage. We now have the heats of the women's pair.
Ci spostiamo ora con la prima qualificazione del 2 senza femminile under 19.
In lane 1, Brazil, Ana Julia Ferreira and Laura Postiglione Dornelles Pizzaro. In lane 2 for Canada, Mira Calda and Sofia Ragosa. In lane 3 for Chile, Magdalena Jesus Nanig Rojas and Antonia Pichot. In lane 4, Moldova, Vera Gracina and Anna de Zoret. And in lane 5, we have the twins from New Zealand, Phoebe and Alice Wallace. And a big cheer from the grandstand for the Wallace twins. Lovely to hear that. Don't know if you could hear that up at 1,000 meters, Colleen, could you?
Yeah, you know, I like to think that I can, and I'm excited to see them out ahead as well. They're not quite leading at the moment. That honor is to the Canadian combination, Sofia Ragoso and Mira Calder in the bow. But this combination, the sisters from New Zealand, well, they're making their international debut and certainly doing it in style in this heat. It's Canada leading New Zealand 2 spots to advance, then back to Chile, Brazil, and Moldova.
Siamo ai 1200 metri del percorso, anche con questa prima batteria del 2 senza femminile, che vede ancora una volta i colori del Canada combattere insieme alla Nuova Zelanda per le prime 2 posizioni utili al passaggio del turno alla finale A, al passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso. Mezza imbarcazione di vantaggio sul Canada insieme a Nuova Zelanda. Attenzione, perché potrebbe esserci un attacco da parte del Cile veramente agguerrito per andare a rientrare sulle posizioni di testa, portandosi così verso la finale A in questa specialità. Una bellissima azione quando nel 2021 a vincere fu la Francia, dopo il Cile e terza la Germania. Il Canada ancora una volta in grande spolvero.
Over halfway, and it's starting to tighten up behind the Canadians. The Canadians clearly in command of this race, up at 39 strokes per minute, and behind them, the battle for that coveted second place continues. New Zealand holding on just barely over this Chilean combination, Tim, and great experience from the Chilean in the bow seat, Magdalena Jesus Nana Rojas. She took silver in the junior women's pair, and she also raced in the same year at the Under-23 Championship. So great to see her here at the U19 level.
Yeah, and I think experience in this boat class, the women's or the pair in general, is so important because it's such a difficult boat to row well. So if you have that experience and you've proven yourself worthy of a medal, that must be a great boost of confidence for the Chilean pair. They're in lane 3, but all eyes will be drawn to the crew from Canada, making their debut here at the Under-19 World Championships. And they're doing fabulous. They were up at 39 strokes a minute for most of the way. and I think they still are. So it's fantastic to see them moving out this strongly. They have about a full length of clear water with New Zealand going with them as well. But Chile is one of those crews I will keep an eye out on, because they look very threatening for one of those two spots, and perhaps even eating into the Canadian lead with 500 meters to go.
I think so, Tim. It is incredible to be here at the 1500 meters. I was up at the 1000 meter mark yesterday, so they are just passing us in the hut here now. It is definitely the Chileans who are out ahead, but they are very closely followed by Canada out ahead, but the Chileans and New Zealand quite close, and then on the far side, Brazil also hanging in there. 2 spots heading for the final A. So I think there might be a bit of a push now to try and get into that top 2 spots.
Yeah, definitely. It's all the work to do for New Zealand and Brazil on the far side. It's not quite clear water, but the Canadians and the crew from Chile out in front, and they look set for one of those 2 spots into the A final. So of course all these crews have another chance at it, but it's great if you can just progress straight to the A final. So I suspect a big sprint coming from New Zealand and from Brazil to take the honors here and take one of those spots into the A final, Rob.
Thank you very much. Yeah, they've dropped down the pecking order a bit, though, New Zealand, haven't they? But as you say, it's still a bit of a way to go to try and make it up. But Canada, Chile really leading the way here. Brazil not far off either.
Ed è il futuro del canottaggio mondiale che scalda la schiranna, con il Canada che punta fortissimo su questa accoppiata, un'accoppiata capace di rimanere in testa per tutto il percorso, ma il Cile non vuole lasciare nulla di internattato e insieme al Brasile cerca di tirarsi a vicenda per provare a rientrare, e quindi di conseguenza si apre la battaglia. All'esterno prova a rinvenire pericolosamente, lo potete vedere sotto gli occhi di tutti, ancora il Canada col Cile, una gara apertissima in quest'ultima frazione.
It's a terrific finish. This is a real sprint coming on here from the Chileans over in lane 3. But it's Canada. Can they hold on to it? I think they're just being pushed by Chile. Chile take the win. They cross the line first ahead of Canada in second, just bow's length in it. And then in third place, it's Brazil and the Wallace twins from New Zealand coming home in fourth. But first and second, what a battle there. Chile just taking it from Canada. Both those crews do go directly through to the A final. And we'll have another opportunity to see the other crews in action in the repechage tomorrow morning as our final crew just comes down to the line. Let's have a big cheer, please, for Moldova. Heat 2 sees Italy, Greece, Romania, USA and Germany pretty much at 1,000 meters, all 5 boats, Colleen.
Yeah, it's tightly packed as they move towards the 1,000, but at the top of the field, I'd say just behind, it's a bit more spread out. Up at the front, it is the combination from Greece, Asvesta and Argyaki in the stroke seats, setting the rhythm, 36 strokes per minute. Just behind them, the Italian crew. So, Tomas, what can you tell us about this Italian combination?
Sì, una combinazione italiana veramente molto agguerrita, una formazione societaria del Circolo Canottieri di Palermo, la stessa accoppiata che nel maggio del 2022 proprio qui alla Schieranna di Varese ai campionati europei furono d'argento per meno di un secondo. Oggi pronte al riscatto per andare alla conquista della medaglia del metallo più prezioso in questa specialità del 2 senza Under 19 femminile, insieme alla Grecia che conduce la corsa di questa batteria con la Germania che pericolosamente potrebbe rientrare, ma continua la corsa dell'Italia in seconda posizione netta.
Avesta in the bow seat, on Argyaki in the stroke seat for Greece. Tim, they're coming towards you at the final 500 to advance. How's it looking from where you're sitting?
Well, with the danger of sounding repetitive, it's almost like I see a carbon copy of the under-23 Greek pair which we saw yesterday. It's that same long dynamic rhythm. I think these under-19 athletes are just a bit more aggressive at the finish, but it sees them moving into the lead, and they have a comfortable margin over the Italian pair of Naselli and Scarpello, both from Palermo, Italy. They're the 1-2 at this stage of the race, so they look good for those two spots straight into the A final, Niamh. But here, very close to our commentary position, there's also that crew from Germany now trying to make its way into one of those qualifying positions.
They are indeed. They are looking very strong as they pass us here now at 1,500 metres. I see what you mean about that long stroke from Greece, though. They are just seem to be pulling away a little bit now. Italy over on the far side still in there. Germany putting on a great battle. Two crews going to that A final. Of course, Italy and Greece both making the podium at the European Under-19 Championships just some time ago. Greece winning that, Italy second. So they've already had a battle on the water. Looks like it's happening again now.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic finish because that Greek crew leading for most of the way, they're not safe because the Italians raising their game 36 strokes a minute and the Germans underrating them at 34 strokes a minute. So I think the Germans are going to go for a big change of gear come the final 250, and it's just a little over three-quarters of a boat length separating Italy and Germany for that last spot into the directly into the A final. But Greece not safe yet, Rob.
No, but I suspect they will at least hold on to second place, if not first. But Italy have got to hold off the Germans too.
Una Grecia arrembante, una Grecia capace di crescere sempre di più, una Grecia che alle spalle ha sempre un tocco italiano. Non possiamo dimenticare che oltre al direttore Gianni Postiglione nello staff tecnico quest'anno c'è anche Renato Gaeta, un altro volto noto in Italia, ma all'esterno l'Italia non vuole lasciare spazio alle elleni, che prova a portarsi sempre più sotto con una formazione di due talenti già argento ai campionati europei e che non vogliono essere da meno. Ma esiste un proverbio in Italia che dice che tra i due litiganti è spesso il terzo a godere. Attenzione alla Germania in acqua 5 che sta provando a rientrare.
Look at that contest on the far side of the lake here. Italy trying to really come through and surprise the Greek boat, but it's the Greeks who take it by a bow deck. They take the first and second place. Germany come home in third, so they just missed out on direct qualification, but we look forward to seeing them again in the repechage along with the remaining crews, Romania and the USA. But it's Greece in first, Italy in second. They're through directly to the A final of the women's pair to join Chile and Canada.
Un arrivo splendido davvero, con la Grecia capace di confermarsi lì in testa, ma l'Italia è seconda, quindi questo ci garantisce comunque l'accesso diretto in finale. Terza piazza per la Germania.
We now move on to the heats of the women's four.
Ci spostiamo ora al 4 senza femminile.
And Greece are in this one as well. They're in lane 1 alongside Romania in 2, Italy in 3, Spain in 4, Canada in 5. Colleen, all yours.
Yeah, it's fantastic, Rob, to watch them come through the 1,000. It's a beautiful sight. The Romanians are leading, such strength on the sweep side for the Romanian women, and we're seeing that at the U19 level. But the real battle happening between Italy and Spain for that second qualifying position.
Romania sempre in grande spolvero in questa specialità del 4 senza femminile under 19. La Romania che è campione in carica in questa specialità e fa sentire ancora la sua presenza sul campo di regata della Schieranna di Varese, con l'Italia che al passaggio ai 1000 metri è riuscita a tenere testa alla Spagna, portando la prua innanzi all'imbarcazione spagnola che in questo momento si trova in terza posizione. Un passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso importante, perché solo i primi due saranno proiettati verso la finale A di questa specialità.
Italy overhauls Spain to what could be that second qualifying spot in the strokes lead. Elisa Grisoni, Tim, setting a fantastic pace for this crew.
Yeah, she really is, and she's just half a length back to the very quick crew from Romania. That Romanian crew really flying down the course and matching the Italians for rate, both at 37 strokes a minute. So it's great to see these two crews pushing off. I think Spain dropping back slightly with crew from Greece, finding it a bit difficult, but it must be mentioned that the Greek crew is a relatively young crew with one 15-year-old and two 16-year-olds competing. So it's great to see them here, but it's the fast crew from the slightly more experienced crew too from Romania with two silver medalists from the junior women's 8 in that crew. They're flying. Italy going with them though. Yeah, perhaps it might be, but I think these young athletes will have done everything to get themselves up in working condition, and they look really sharp. So I think they've gelled together perfectly, and they're really moving along with Romania. I think Romanians seen the threat rope with a little push of their own. They've moved back out to almost a length with 250 meters to go, but Italy looking fabulous there for that second spot into the A final.
Yeah, they are, and isn't it great that Romania are able to respond in that way this far down the course, because it'll be beginning to hurt right now, but impressive from both these two crews.
Romania e Italia, Italia e Romania anche qui a contendersi le prime due posizioni per l'accesso in finale. Da un lato la Romania che allunga ancora, ma l'Italia è arrembante con Giorgia Sciatella, Lucrezia Monaci, Benedetta Pacor, Elisa Grisoni. Questa formazione che cerca di rimanere incollata, ma la Romania in grande stile con un giro eccellente, andando a mettere le ali, vola alla vittoria di questa qualifica.
Romania too strong for the Italians. They hold on to it to take the win by 2 lengths from Italy. Italy won't be too disappointed. They qualify directly for the A final along with Romania. The remaining crews coming home now. We'll see them again tomorrow as they have a second opportunity in the repechage. So coming home right now, taking the hooter there in lane 4 is Spain, followed home there by Greece and eventually Canada. We look forward to seeing them tomorrow. Heat 2 of the women's 4 sees the United States take up lane 1 alongside the Netherlands in lane 2. In lane 3, France. Lane 4, Germany. Lane 5, Great Britain.
Seconda qualificazione, un'altra fiamma da accendere. Stati Uniti, Francia, Gran Bretagna, Germania, Olanda. Chissà cosa sta succedendo sul campo.
So let's see how Great Britain do in this. I'm slightly intrigued to see. I must say, a little bit of self-interest, but USA possibly leading the way, Colleen?
Yeah, the USA is leading the way, and I'd love to tell you about the USA in just a moment. But to answer your question, GB in the mix. It's USA leading France, back to GB, then Germany and the Netherlands. This combination, though, from the USA, so Imogen Cabot in the 3 seat, Elsa Hartmann in the 2 seat. Well, they're coming out of the winning combinations from last year's Junior World Championships. Hartmann coming out of the gold winning 8, and Cabot coming out of the Junior Women's 4 gold. And they're looking really nice as they cross into that halfway point. So it is the USA continuing to lead France, then back to GB. I'd say GB closest in contention to threaten France's second place position.
Spiccano i colori degli Stati Uniti d'America in questa seconda batteria del 4 senza femminile. Stati Uniti d'America che utilizzano la tecnica di mettere capovoga e prodiere da un lato e 2 atleti centrali dall'altro. Sicuramente una tecnica che sta avendo grande successo, perché a condurre sono proprio i loro colori, seguiti dalla Francia per la seconda posizione. Una Francia che nel 2021 fu seconda, quindi senz'altro pronta al riscatto in questa specialità. Attenzione, perché anche la Gran Bretagna potrebbe dire la sua e andare a rientrare nelle posizioni di testa. I primi 2 in finale A, gli altri ai recuperi.
750, bit less than that to go. The USA still leading. It's Kennedy Housley setting down that rhythm. Kennedy names her dad as one of her personal heroes. She says because he has fought for her entire life, and he's the one who inspired her to start rowing. So, Tim, there's another family affair for you.
Yeah, that's a wonderful fact there, Colleen. Thank you so much. And looking at the American crew from where we're sitting, it looks very aggressive actually, really powering along. You can see they are almost equally matched in terms of rates at I think a little over 35 strokes a minute, but it looks so powerful from the young American athletes, and they have clear water over the crew from France. And I'm actually a bit surprised there, Niamh, to see France clear water back from the American crew, because the crew from France have some pedigree in this event.
They do indeed, yes. 2 of the crew were second at the Under-19 European Championships just a few months ago, and 2 were second as well last year. A lot of experience on the water across the board in all the crews. A lot of them racing last season already at this category Under-19. But USA doesn't look like there is going to be any catching them at the moment, with 2 places up for grabs though. I think there might be a little bit of a battle between other crews though, is there?
Yeah, I think you're right. Rob will be very pleased to hear that GB is still in the mix for one of those 2 for that last spot into the A final, and that's going to be a very tight battle between France, still in the lead, almost 3/4 of a length ahead of GB, followed by Germany, and then the crew from the Netherlands clear water back, so they are out of it. But the hopes still alive for GB, with France looking good, but GB can still overhaul that crew, but it's a tall order to do so, Rob.
Yeah, it's quite a contest for them, isn't it? They may decide perhaps eventually just to give up the chase and just save a little bit for the repechage tomorrow, but we're not there yet. USA leading from France.
Stati Uniti d'America davvero vantaggio, grande prova per loro. Guardate che spettacolo, riescono ancora a girare fortissimo con la Francia che prova a rientrare, una Francia che ha cambiato metà dell'equipaggio perché l'argento agli europei gli andava stretto e non sappiamo ancora se quello è stato un cambio vincente oppure no. Di certo gli Stati Uniti sono vincenti e lo dimostrano sul traguardo.
USA coming down to the line. They take the hooter there, a length ahead of France in second place. So they will go through to join Romania and Italy directly into that A final. That's the hooter sounding for Great Britain as they cross the line in third place, and the remaining crews coming home as well. So it is USA and France through directly. GB, Germany and the Netherlands will go again tomorrow morning for a second opportunity to qualify. We now move on to the heats of the men's 4.
4 senza maschile, siete pronti? Noi sì.
19 entries in this boat class, so we've got 4 heats here, and the lineup in Heat 1 sees Great Britain in action again. They're out in lane 1, Austria in lane 2, Denmark in lane 3, Egypt taking up lane 4, alongside Croatia in lane 5. So let's see how this one's going to shape up. Again, it's the first 2 through, but it's a semi-final that awaits them. Colleen.
Yeah, you'll be happy to hear, Rob, that GB's looking really solid out ahead of the rest of the field. It's clear water back to the folks behind them. Now it's 2 to advance to semi-final A, B. GB putting themselves in a good position to do just that. It's Alexander Forbes in the stroke seat, Joshua Brangen in the 3, Cameron Tasker in 2, and Saxon Stacey in the bow. Holding on to that second qualifying position, well, at the moment, that would be Denmark. And it's looking like, barring any big move from their closest competitor, which would be the combination from Croatia, stroked by Louvre Pou, that they'd be pretty safe to take it.
Una Gran Bretagna ancora una volta in grande spolvero in questa prima batteria del 4 senza Under 19 maschile. Una Gran Bretagna che in questa specialità non è sicuramente di primo pelo, infatti detiene il record mondiale a livello di tempo ottenuto a Lucerna, pensate, nell'anno 2012. Da quel tempo, palata dopo palata, gara dopo gara, è cresciuto sempre di più l'equipaggio della Gran Bretagna, naturalmente con nuovi atleti in gara, che in questa specialità quest'oggi precede la Danimarca, ben delineata in seconda posizione. Attenzione al possibile rientro della Croazia.
This GB combination just 18 years old, Tim, as they come toward the final 500.
Yeah, it's a young combination, and all of these 4 athletes from GB making their debut here at Lago di Varese. It's their first Junior World Championships, or Under-19 Championships, I should say. But it looks very mature, it's long and strong. clear water over the more experienced athletes from Denmark. This crew got second place in the B final last year, and they seem to be moving with GB to take one of those spots into the AB semi-final. But GB just looking fabulous, wouldn't you say so, Niamh?
Absolutely. Looking at the different strokes, GB look to have quite much shorter strokes, though in Denmark. It's interesting to see the different styles out here. Croatia, though, as well, closest to us here, looking nice and smooth, currently sitting in third place. Lurv Pu sitting in the stroke seat there, Matej Teverlek in the bow, Seven Thomas Banovic in number 2, and Matek Gaelic in seat number 3.
So with just a couple of 100 meters left to go. GB looking strong there, Rob, so you must be very pleased from where you're sitting.
I'm very happy to see all the crews doing well, Tim, but yeah, in particular, well done GB. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Gran Bretagna che in questo momento cerca di cambiare ulteriormente marcia, una Gran Bretagna che sta dimostrando di avere tutte le chance per scrivere una pagina importante nel 4 senza. D'altronde loro hanno una storia incredibile anche in chiave olimpica. All'esterno allungano ancora la propria velocità sulla Danimarca, poi la Croazia per la terza posizione. Solo le prime due garantiscono l'accesso in semifinale. Gran Bretagna su un altro pianeta, conferma dell'eccellente valore, l'importanza, la priorità di questa imbarcazione, una palata pennellata verso il traguardo alla vittoria.
They do look a very good unit. Great Britain coming home now in lane 1 to take first qualification spot for that AB semi-final. They take it by 2 and a bit lengths ahead of Denmark there in lane 3. So those are the two crews progressing directly. It's a tight finish for third and fourth here. It's just going to be taken by Croatia ahead of Egypt. And Croatia ahead of Austria, I do beg your pardon. Egypt now coming down towards the line. Let's hear it for them. And those crews, of course, will go again in the repechage. But Great Britain, Denmark, straight through. On to the second heat of the men's 4, with Germany in lane 1, Canada in 2, Switzerland lane 3. New Zealand have received a yellow card for being late to the start, but provided there are no more misdemeanors, they'll be fine. And Spain are in lane 5.
Seconda qualificazione del 4 senza maschile, Germania, Canada, Svizzera, Nuova Zelanda e Spagna in corsa.
So making their way down through, actually they've only got to 400 meters. Is this too soon to throw to you, Colleen? Do you have sight of them?
We have sight of them, and I'd be delighted to tell you what Tomas and I see from the 1,000. We see 5 strong under-19 men's 4s just charging towards us, and it's looking really good at the moment for this combination from Germany. They were first to the 500-meter mark. We'll see as they get a bit closer if they'll be first to the 1,000, but they've got quite a bit of distance, as we can see on our GPS tracker. And then just behind them, well, it's really tightly packed for that second place qualifying position. Truly, I cannot split apart New Zealand, Spain, and even Canada at the moment. I'd say Switzerland just off the pace from that pack behind, but the Germans well on their way. It's Jasper Schultz in the stroke seat for Germany.
Mentre la Germania guida il gruppo di questa seconda batteria del 4 senza maschile, è tiratissima la gara per la seconda posizione. Ricordiamo i primi 2 in semifinale A e B, gli altri dovranno passare dai recuperi, quindi sono la Nuova Zelanda e la Spagna che cercano di dare il tutto e per tutto per porre la propria prua innanzi all'equipaggio avversario per andare alla conquista della semifinale, ma la Germania continua ad allungare con la Spagna che rinviene sulla Nuova Zelanda, una Spagna che è già campione in carica con solo Palomino, l'atleta, vinse lo scorso anno, quest'anno un nuovo equipaggio in gara, nuovi atleti, solamente lui che si ripresenta, è veramente in grande spolvero la Spagna che supera la Nuova Zelanda ma continua la corsa, la Germania al passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso, in questo momento la Germania ha più di un'imbarcazione di vantaggio sugli avversari.
Okay, Team Germany, this is a sight that you'll want to see as Germany crosses into the second half of this race. They look just fantastic at 36 strokes per minute. Schultz in the stroke seat, Wollrab in 3, Klein in 2, Schoenwatt in the bow. Just behind them, well, it's still super tight between all these crews for that second place position. Currently, New Zealand just edging Canada barely. Spain running with them, Switzerland a little bit off the pace as they move through the third 500. 7:50 to go, 12:50 down. Tim, it's Germany all day, but that second place up for grabs.
Yeah, and from our position, we're really looking at that Canadian crew with Owen Markovic there in the stroke seat. They had the highest boat speed through most of the third quarter of this race. All eyes, of course, also on Germany, but they look safe, clear water ahead. But as you mentioned, Colleen, it's very tight for that last spot into the AB semi-final. It could go either way to the Canadians, but New Zealand, we can see the black vest of the All Blacks moving towards the front of the field. And but what do you reckon? Is that crew from Spain going to do anything special come the last 500 meters?
Spain are going to do something special, I know it. They are closest to us here in lane 5 as they are now approaching the 1500 metre mark. Spain, of course, the defending champions in this boat class. Different combination this year, but they are looking very, very strong. So as they just come up to pass us at the hut, it is still Germany holding on to that lead. Two of that crew finishing third at the Under-19 Europeans last year, so they are returning athletes. But great fight going on here now, Tim, for that second qualifying spot into the AB semi-final.
Yeah, the Spanish crew with big shoes to fill, but they are responding and they are moving level with Canada, who have held on to that second position for most of the way. I think the Spanish now upping at 38 strokes a minute, but Canada matching them for rate. Canada just the slightly slower boat speed, so Spain definitely moving through. I think Germany will be safe, but Rob, it's going to be a very tight one between Canada and Spain, and also the New Zealand crew now stepping up their rate to get that last spot into the AB semi-finals.
Yeah, Germany out in front, but it is that battle behind them that's absolutely fascinating.
Una di quelle gare che vuoi seguire fino all'ultimo centimetro. Se da un lato la Germania con un vantaggio di oltre 5 secondi sta dimostrando dall'altra parte del campo di poter fare la differenza, la Spagna, forte del titolo mondiale conquistato lo scorso anno a Plovdiv in Bulgaria, vorrebbe andare a confermarsi. Ma nel mezzo si infila il Canada che rompe le uova nel paniere. La Nuova Zelanda resta indietro, quindi attenzione a queste tre nazioni. Germania, Canada e Spagna che stanno tentando davvero di andare a conquistare le uniche due posizioni valide per la promozione.
Spain are making a real push here. I think they might not quite do, or they might, but it's Germany. Germany come across the line first, and Spain have done it. They've claimed that second spot ahead of Canada, who've just been pipped to that second spot. Canada home in third. What a race from that boat from Spain. So it is Germany and Spain who take the AB semi-final spot directly, where they'll join Great Britain and Denmark. But all the other crews will have another chance to reach the semi-finals as well when they go again tomorrow in the repechage.
Absolutely great, Rob. But at the same time, if you look it out there, you can see Spain, and they were trying to get the attention of all of our spectators, trying to get more support, so please do, during the day, and try to support all of our athletes competing here on Lake Varese.
Beautifully put, Luca. Absolutely right. Well done. Terrific race. We're seeing some great quality, aren't we? On to the third heat then, with Romania in lane 1, Czech Republic in lane 2, Australia in 3, USA in 4, Poland in 5. Can we expect more excitement here?
Yeah, we can certainly expect more excitement, and I think more cheering from the grandstand as well. The Aussies making their international debut. Super gutsy race for them, leading at the 500, at the 1,000. Good experience across the board in this race, but it's the Aussies leading. Then it's back to the Czech Republic with three athletes, from Romania, 3 athletes returning from the Junior World Championship in this event last year. So it's the Aussies, Czech Republic, then back to the USA.
È uno spettacolo scorgere così tante imbarcazioni in questa specialità del 4 senza maschile. Ben 19 gli equipaggi iscritti in questa specialità. Siamo con la terza batteria che vede l'Australia condurre al centro del percorso sulla Repubblica Ceca, che è ben delineata in seconda posizione. Sono queste due le imbarcazioni che si proiettano verso la semifinale A e B. Le altre passeranno dai recuperi.
Two to advance on, the Czech Republic moving from third at 500 down, second at the 1,000, and Tim now leading this race.
Yeah, the Czechs look fabulous here with 600 meters to go. They look fabulous, but with them it's the green and gold from Australia. A fantastic rhythm there being set by Jake Nesbitt in the stroke seat, and he really sets it up great for his crew. We have that crew from Romania as well, lurking from lane number 1 for that final qualifying position. But yeah, the Czech Republic looking fabulous there, Niamh.
They're out ahead, but look at USA just passing us there now as well. They are not out of this race yet. They are pulling very smooth now. Great rhythm between them all. It is looking quite close between those top 4 boats. I think there's going to be a lot of changes as they go down the course here.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. The Czech Republic not safe. It's just 3/4 of a length back to Romania, and we know all Romanian crews can go absolutely to the wire to put on the afterburners in the final 300 meters and make up a full length. So the Czech Republic will have to start sprinting as well. With Romania already at 40 strokes a minute, Rob, they're definitely charging for the line.
Oramai in chiusura si vola ancora una volta con un altro arrivo veloce. Sono i colori dell'Australia che in questo momento cercano di volare via perché si trovano in una situazione pericolosissima insieme alla Romania, che però cambia marcia e scappa via insieme alla Repubblica Ceca. Quindi la Repubblica Ceca che di fatto vola verso il traguardo con grande assalto all'esterno della Romania, che negli ultimi 200 metri è in grado non solo di superare i 40 colpi al minuto, stanno viaggiando a 41 colpi, ma bruciare il vantaggio della Repubblica Ceca dal terzo al primo posto. Romania e Repubblica Ceca.
Just look at that race, that sprint for the line on the far side. Who's going to take first? Who's going to have bragging rights here? It is lane 2. It is the Czech Republic. They've just held on to what they will have felt was their rightful spot in that race. Romania coming home in second, and then the remaining crews come through as well. But what a finish from Czech Republic and a superb finish from them, with Romania moving up to take that second spot directly through to the AB semi-final. So the fourth and final heat of the men's four seas, Italy go in lane 1 alongside Ukraine in 2, Serbia lane 3 and Hungary in lane 4.
Ultima qualificazione del 4 senza maschile ed ecco gli azzurri. In acqua 1, in acqua 2 Ucraina, poi Serbia ed Ungheria.
So we've had some thrilling finishes in these heats. These heats have been so closely and excitingly contested, Colleen.
Yeah, I love this round of racing. I mean, truly, I love every round. But the heats, there's something so exciting about lining up for the first time against one another, testing tactics, testing strategies, evolving your race strategy throughout the week, making adjustments as needed. The one crew on the course at the moment whose race strategy is working really nicely for them, well, that's the Italian combination of Maddaleoni, Melgari, Capagili, and Ciceri in the bow. The best 2 Italian pairs, Luca told me earlier, insider baseball there.
Gli azzurri ancora una volta si fanno sentire al passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso con un'imbarcazione e luce sugli avversari. Chierchia, Cappagli, Melegari e Maddaloni sono veramente in grande spolvero sulle acque del lago di Varese quest'oggi, con questa quarta batteria del 4 senza under 19 maschile. Per la seconda posizione è un attacco da parte della Serbia sull'Ungheria, ma sono veramente lì vicinissime, punta a punta, queste due imbarcazioni in corsia 3 e in corsia numero 4, pronte ad andare verso la semifinale A e B insieme all'Italia.
Thank you very much, Tomas. These fours now well into the third quarter of the race. And just as they went by the 1,000, Tim, I saw the bowman in the shell from Hungary. That's Aaron Kalmar. Just look over his shoulder to see where Serbia is. Quite the battle between those two.
Yeah, those two are going to fight it out for that last spot into the AB semi-final, no doubt, with the furious pace being set by Italy. 40 strokes a minute for most of the way, and they look fabulous here. The two best pairs from Italy in this four, and they move together very smoothly, and they have clear water lead over Serbia and Hungary, with the Hungarian crew I think have their bow ball right in front, Neve, but it's difficult to see from our position. But very little separating these two crews, would you say?
Very little. I think just 1 meter separating Hungary and Serbia at the moment. Hungary sitting in second, Serbia sitting in third. Serbia, of course, that crew finishing third at the Under-19 European Championships there a little while ago. Filip Milanovic in the bow seat, Zoran Bosnic, Predrag Civic Zotic and Viktor Popovic in the stroke seat. So lots of experience there. Hoping to make the podium, I'm sure, again this year.
Yeah, I'm perfect agreement with you, but looking out from our commentary position, who do you think is the best crew at this stage? Who looks the freshest with 500 meters to go?
They are. It's all to play for here at the moment. I know, like Italy are still out ahead. I think Hungary, they seem to be increasing their boat speed, so they might be the freshest and putting on that push to get to that second spot in AB semi-final.
Yeah, they're looking fabulous. Hungary up at 39 strokes a minute now, moving away from that Serbian crew. So I'll hand you straight to Luca to call the Italians down the line.
Siamo in chiusura, siamo davvero alla fine di questa grande marcia trionfale azzurra, davanti fin dal primo colpo, con un passaggio a 1,29, 3,02 e 4,37. L'Italia, Ferdinando Chierchia, Martino Cappagli, Guglielmo Melegari e Giorgio Maddaloni stanno davvero dominando, ma attenzione all'Ungheria che con la Serbia provano a lanciare l'assalto finale agli azzurri. La Serbia cerca di farsi pericolosa insieme all'Ungheria, ma attenzione perché gli azzurri non vogliono mollare nemmeno di 1 centimetro. Attacca l'Ungheria, ma gli azzurri volano verso il traguardo.
Italy are going to fight hard to hold on to first spot, and they're going to have to fight hard because the push is still coming from Hungary in lane 4. That first hooter was for Italy. They take it by half a length from Hungary, who really kept them on their mettle, the Italians. Terrific race from them. Italy and Hungary then take first and second. Serbia coming home in third ahead of Ukraine in fourth. And it is Italy and Hungary through directly to the AB semi-final. Now move on to 3 heats in the Under-19 Women's Quad Sculls.
Ci spostiamo ora alla prima delle 3 qualificazioni riservate al 4 di coppia femminile.
15 entries in total for this boat class, with Denmark in Heat 1, Lane 1, Greece in Lane 2, Great Britain in Lane 3, the United States are in Lane 4, with Germany in Lane 5.
Danimarca, Grecia, Gran Bretagna, Stati Uniti e Germania.
So what a great start to the morning we've had. With just an hour gone, Colleen, we've seen some really, really high quality racing and crews being pushed all the way down to the finish line. It's great to see this kind of athleticism on day 4 here.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. It's the best in the world, of course. So the premier event for the under-19 category this year at Lago di Varese, and just an absolute privilege to be able to watch the racing next to my Italian colleague Tomas. And as I say that, well, we're watching them and they're getting closer. Closest to us and leading this race, it's the combination from Great Britain. So Matilda Druitt in the stroke seat, Megan Knight in 3, Laura Burton in 2 seat, Alice McCarthy 3 to advance on. GB leads, Germany running second. Your pick for third, it's the United States currently, but just barely ahead of Greece.
E ancora tanta l'acqua da spostare con le pale per queste atlete impegnate nella prima batteria del 4 di coppia Under 19 femminile, ma continua la corsa della Grecia che è partita a 41 colpi, 4 in più rispetto agli avversari e anche sul passo sembra avere una marcia in più la Grecia, ma la Germania rinviene in corsia numero 5, palata dopo palata, accorcia il margine di vantaggio. Attenzione anche al possibile rientro di Grecia e Stati Uniti sul Danimarca in quinta posizione.
You heard Tomas, Tim, attenzione, they're coming towards you. GB leading Germany, and then the United States taking some kind of a push, looking to solidify third.
Yeah, it's the crew from America currently in third position, just overhauling the Greeks halfway in the third quarter of this race with the very quick crew from Great Britain there setting the pace and setting the pace and doing so very effectively. But I also always look at to Germany because the German rowing system knows how to produce a good quad, and I can see that from my commentary position. Fabulous blade work there from the crew from Germany with Charlotte Luster there in the stroke seat at a cool 35 strokes a minute, just a couple of meters back from the quad from the US or from Great Britain, and moving with them is that crew from the USA, sandwiched between those two, with the Greeks having a lot of work to do. But the Greeks also look good. I think they're racing a very peculiar looking shell there, Niamh. It's a red and white combination. We don't see those too often, but it's fabulous to see that next to the more traditional Ampackers of Germany and the crew from Great Britain, just passing our commentary position.
It is a beautiful sight to see. Just 2 yellow shells passing us there now, but the colourful ones coming up behind them. USA now have solidified their position in third at the moment. Of course, 3 going through to the AB semi-final. But out ahead, it is still Germany. They are pulling extremely strong here, but it is Great Britain as well. It looks very even between those two, both speeds similar. It's kind of, they seem to be putting on a bit of a fight there for first place. Do you think it's important to do top 3 positions go through? So is it important to really show what you're made of at this point?
Well, formally, you both go to the AB semi-final, but it's always good for like the mental game to have a win. It's good for your morale. It's good for your confidence, and the crew you've just beat then in the heats, you know you can take them. So it gives that little bit of confidence, whereas if you're on the losing side, it's difficult to race that same crew again later the tournament. So I think it's really important to like go for it if you can, and if you don't spend too much energy overhauling that crew. But GB now in second position, just a couple of meters back from the crew from Germany, leading now with the USA in third.
We are now far away. Non siamo lontani ed eccoci quindi in volata verso il traguardo con la Germania che continua a fare la differenza, un vantaggio importante per questa formazione sulla Gran Bretagna che dimostra di poter andare ancora a mantenere la seconda piazza, ma la Germania è lì solitaria.
What a fantastic race we've seen here on the Lake Varese. Germany taking the win here in this heat of the women's quadruple sculls, just ahead of Great Britain, 3/4 of a length. And another length down, we see the United States of America with Greece and Denmark coming up shortly.
Well, thanks to Sebastian for jumping into the hot seat there as we move on to the second heat of the women's quad sculls. New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, China and Ireland are in lane 5.
Closing in now into the second quarter of the race. Thanks very much, Rob. Yes, Ireland out of lane 5, but it's South Africa currently leading. Fantastic to see such global representation, something like 62 some nations from around the world across both the under 23 and under 19 category. The top event for these U19 rowers, and it's South Africa currently leading. It's Janine Ryman in the stroke seat. It's 3-2 to advance to semi-final A, B. At the moment, that would be South Africa, Ireland maybe just putting their bow ahead of South Africa, New Zealand running right with them. Those are your three leaders at the moment. China keeping themselves in it as well. So tight.
In un secondo 5 imbarcazioni al passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso. È tiratissima questa batteria numero 2 del 4 di coppia femminile con Nuova Zelanda, Canada, Repubblica del Sudafrica, Cina ed Irlanda, veramente molto agguerrite. Un bellissimo punto a punta tra tutte le imbarcazioni. Sembra spuntarla la Repubblica del Sudafrica con l'Irlanda, veramente molto vicine. Poi Nuova Zelanda e Canada, perde un po' terreno la Cina quando ormai mancano gli ultimi 800 metri di gara.
4 boats competing for 3 spots, and I should say 5, not to be left out. It's the People's Republic of China. 2 of these athletes, seats 2 and 3, Li Langru and Li Yahu, we saw at Lucerne racing up a category in the women's quad. Tim, we'll hand it over to you, though, to sort it out.
Yeah, that Chinese quad looks good, but they're almost a full length back, but it's very close at the front of the field. I think the Janet Walsh coach crew from Ireland just taking the initiative there, Niamh. Great to see.
Great to see. This is my favourite part of the day when I see those green blades, white shamrocks coming down the course. First Irish crew out on the water today. We have Ayla O'Neill representing Kenmare, Moya Knowles and Lauren McCarthy-Steele from Skibbereen Rowing Club, and Kate Reedy, who is turning 17 today, from Lee Rowing Club. They are pulling extremely strong, and it's great to see Ireland producing such great junior rowers that are feeding up into the senior system. And it's in no small feat. It goes to the work that they are doing in the clubs. So they're just passing us here now at 1,500 metres. Ireland pulling out ahead now of Canada sitting in the second, and New Zealand actually over on the far side as well, looking very strong.
Yeah, looking strong, and that fast crew from South Africa also moving with New Zealand and Canada. So it's not over just yet. Ireland look fabulous, and what a way to celebrate your birthday there in the stroke seat of that Irish crew, leading this second heat of the women's quadruple sculls. But Rob, Ireland look good out in front, but New Zealand and Canada are not far behind.
What joy to hear Niamh's joy in the progress of this Irish boat. They are looking so impressive. All the Irish boats this week have looked absolutely sensational. But yeah, what a race for them.
Un'Irlanda che davvero stupisce, un'Irlanda in crescita costante e continua, ma c'è solo un segreto. Antonio Mauro Giovanni in cabina di regia, che da quando ha preso le redini dell'Irlanda sta davvero sviluppando un canottaggio a 360 gradi. È giusto rendere onore al merito, quindi Irlanda, Nuova Zelanda per le prime 2 posizioni, di fatto però le prime 3 garantiranno il passaggio del turno, quindi ottime chance anche per il Canada con il Sudafrica in rientro.
What a race we have got here. Just down to the final few metres now. Ireland still hanging on to take this first place. I mean, anyone would think this is an A final. Wonderful to see the crews battling so hard. Can Ireland hold off New Zealand in the far side? They can. Ireland are going to do it. Ireland take first place. Happy birthday, Kate Reedy in the Irish stroke seat. And it's really close for second and third. We'll have to wait confirmation whether it was South Africa or New Zealand. South Africa making a real push at the end. But Ireland definitely taking first place. What a finish from them. And just awaiting confirmation, South Africa moving through to take that second qualification spot. What a heat, what a race. Well done, the women's quad sculls. Oh, New Zealand in third, sorry.
A really nice way to celebrate a birthday, Rob.
Isn't it just? Yeah, let's go and win a race, shall we, at a major international regatta and get ourselves through to the semi-finals. Wonderful. So to the third and final heat then of this thrilling boat class, the women's quad sculls. Netherlands are in lane 1 with Poland in lane 2, Romania in 3, Italy in 4, and Estonia lane 5. Colleen, all yours.
Yeah, they're crossing into the second half right as you hand us this race, Rob. It's fantastic to see. It's Poland just by about a half a length, 3 to move on to semifinal A, B, just as in the prior rounds. And we see the times coming in at the 1,000. It is Poland leading the Netherlands with Romania in very close touch, then back to Italy, their closest threat, and over to Estonia.
Stiamo assistendo ad un vero e proprio spettacolo in queste batterie del 4 di coppia femminile. Siamo con la terza che vede l'Olanda avere una marcia in più. Viaggiano a 40 colpi le atlete olandesi che precedono Polonia e Romania. Quarta in questo momento l'Italia che deve partire dall'attacco. Un'Italia che schiera una formazione che comprende atleti di tutta Italia, dalla Lombardia, dall'Emilia Romagna, dal Friuli Venezia Giulia e anche dal Lazio. Un bellissimo quadruplo questo che però deve partire all'attacco se vuole cercare di rientrare per le prime 3 posizioni utili al passaggio del turno. In questo momento appannaggio di Olanda, Polonia e Romania.
So Poland not necessarily quickest off the line. They were second at the 500, moving into first place at the 1,000, stroked by Natasha Malika, who's setting that rhythm for the Polish crew. Tim, they'll be one to watch in subsequent rounds.
Yeah, I think they are. They look very good and smooth out on the water, but going with them is that fast crew from Romania. Also one crew to watch with a European gold medalist in the stroke seat there from last year. Of course, I'm talking about Anna Maria Matran in the stroke seat, setting a fabulous rhythm there. But on the far side, I'm pleased to see the Dutch out in front. It is the combination of Lina Zwart, Teuntje Mollet, both from Willem III, and Minou Bouwman and Amelie Carrière, both from the Spaarne Rowing Club, level with Romania for second and third. But the Polish crew have their bows in front by about a canvas.
They do, and it's good to see the different approaches. Netherlands over there on the far side, rating that little bit higher than the Romanian crew, but both speeds exactly the same. So it'll be good to see how this translates now as they start to up the rate towards the end of the stroke. A lot of young crews, or a lot of young rowers out there. 15-year-old Cengiz Mol in the Netherlands boat, and then 2 15-year-olds as well in the Italian boat. So it's great to see such young rowers out there.
Yeah, Italy giving chase there for the 4th place position here with Poland in the lead, Romania stepping up, moving towards that Polish bow. The Netherlands trying to go with him, but Italy with the work to do in 4th position to get straight to the AB semi-finals.
Giustamente dice Tim che c'è tanto lavoro da fare per l'Italia per riuscire a salire la china. Ovviamente questo non può che essere un grande augurio, ma le azzurre sicuramente ci stupiranno. Magari dovrendo transitare dai recuperi, ma questo ovviamente non ci fa paura. Lì al comando sono i colori della Polonia che insieme all'Olanda continuano a fare l'andatura con ritmi davvero veloci ed incisivi. Ma la paura più grande la fa la Romania che dal terzo posto vuole passare nuovamente in testa con una squadra bella, brillante e agguerrita. E allora la Romania passa davanti, poi a seguire Polonia con l'Olanda.
Yeah, Romania pushing through here. Great race from them. Coming down to take first place. They take the win, Romania, by half a length ahead of Poland in second. And Netherlands take the third qualification spot for the semi-finals as Italy come through in fourth. Estonia just a little bit further back. So Italy and Estonia will go again in the repechage tomorrow morning. Next, we have the heats of the women's 8.
Ed ora ci spostiamo alla qualificazione dell'8 femminile.
The lineup sees Australia in lane 1, Italy in lane 2, the USA are in 3, in lane 4 it's Germany, lane 5 Poland, lane 6 China. So the first to cross the line directly through to the A final, and what a sight that must be greeting you, Colleen.
Yes, fantastic, Rob. It is a sight. I love the eights. I love all of the different events, but the eights are particularly fun from our commentary position because we can hear them, Tomas and I, before we see them. So we hear the coxswains 6 lanes across the first heat of the under-19 women's 8. As you rightly say, it's 1 to advance to Final A, and at the moment that would be the United States, the quickest moving boat on the course.
Le ammiraglie protagoniste sul campo di regata del lago di Varese in questa prima batteria dell'otto femminile che vede ancora una volta i colori degli Stati Uniti d'America, protagonisti di questa specialità, detentori del titolo mondiale, sono sul passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso. Gli Stati Uniti d'America che conducono, tallonati però dalla Germania che si trova in seconda posizione, e a seguire per la terza la Cina al passaggio in questo momento sui 1000 metri. Ricordiamo solamente la prima imbarcazione accederà direttamente alla finale A, gli altri saranno costretti a passare dai recuperi degli Stati Uniti veramente in grande spolvero.
The United States continues to lead, holding on to that quickest speed as we look across the field, 35 strokes per minute. It's Germany, their closest threat, but the U.S. able to push them a little bit back. The Germans at 35 as well. Those are our 2 leaders up at the top of the field. The rest of the crews, well, the People's Republic of China, Italy, Australia, Poland, having their own bit of a battle back in the just about a length or so behind. But the USA, Germany overlapped. In the coxswain seat for the USA, it's Frances Mackenzie, just 16 years old. Her biggest inspiration, she says, is her grandmother, Tim.
Oh, that's so sweet. Did you know? Do you know if her grandmother rode as well, or is she just inspired by her grandmother all out? So with the American crew there, Neve, we're looking at that American crew with all the inspiration they'll need, and they are looking fabulous. They're almost clear water ahead of that crew from Germany in second position, but the Americans look fabulous, wouldn't you say so?
They do. This is my first time commentating on an 8th race now, this championship, and what a beautiful sight it is. USA just coming up past us at the 1500 metre mark. Germany looking very, very strong, but closest to us here, the Chinese crew. 4 of them already raced this morning in the women's coxed 4. Looks like it didn't do too much damage to them though, because they are pulling extremely strong as they pass us here now.
Yeah, it's raw power there from the Chinese 8, and I can hear it. I can hear it through my headset. You have the coxswain from China always produce a lot of noise. It's great to hear them come past our commentary positions, and the Chinese crew really going for it with 400 meters left to go. It's still the USA in the lead, Germany I think still in second position, and China then in third, with Australia, yes it's Australia, Italy a bit back, and Poland, clear water back as well. But yeah, Rob, America there having a fantastic first heat in the women's 8.
So often dominant in this boat class, the USA, aren't they? Just ahead of Germany and the People's Republic of China, currently in third.
Non possiamo dimenticare che gli Stati Uniti d'America sono i campioni del mondo in carica, quindi si gareggia col fuoco e ovviamente ci si scotta le mani quando si gareggia contro gli Stati Uniti d'America, che lì ai 1500 metri sono passati con 4 secondi di vantaggio ed ora allungano ancora davanti alla Germania. Poi la Cina per la terza posizione, le azzurre purtroppo sono quarte in questo momento, con gli Stati Uniti saldamente al comando, a gustarsi ogni centimetro.
USA are going to take this one. Germany still pushing hard though, but they're too far adrift. There's clear water between them and the USA. It's USA who take first place, coxed by Frances Mackenzie. What a great job she did. Germany coming home in second place, and that it's a really tight one for the remaining places. But it is the USA who qualify directly for the A final, and I'm delighted to say we'll see all the other boats again tomorrow in the repechage.
Si conferma quello che dicevamo proprio poco fa. Vittoria degli Stati Uniti, secondo posto la Germania, terza la Cina, quarta l'Italia, ma in ogni caso solo il primo passava al turno, quindi Stati Uniti direttamente in finale, tutti gli altri ai recuperi.
Second heat of the women's 8 is underway. 5 crews here contesting that 1A final spot, with Great Britain in lane 1, Romania in lane 2, lane 3 is New Zealand, lane 4 the Czech Republic, and Hungary in lane 5. And as always, New Zealand getting a great cheer here from the grandstand.
Ed eccoci quindi con la seconda qualificazione, una seconda qualificazione che ci permette di rimanere con lo spettacolo dell'ammiraglia, con Gran Bretagna, Romania, Nuova Zelanda, Repubblica Ceca ed Ungheria quasi ai 1000 metri.
100 meters to go before they get to you, Colleen.
Yeah, it's fantastic. 100 meters to go, and as mentioned, we can hear them. And now as they come closer, it's a sight to be had. Up at the top of the field, well, that's this combination from the Czech Republic. Great experience in both the coxed seat and in the 7 seat. These are both returners from last year's crew, and they're currently holding on to that first place position up at 37 strokes per minute. Just one to advance to Final A. It's looking good for the Czech Republic. Great Britain closest, New Zealand, then Great Britain just behind them.
Si fa sentire l'esperienza della Repubblica Ceca in questa specialità dell'otto femminile. Al passaggio ai 1000 metri, mezza imbarcazione di vantaggio sull'equipaggio in seconda posizione, appannaggio della Nuova Zelanda. Una Repubblica Ceca che è stata per tempo protagonista di questa specialità remiera, tanto da far registrare anche un record a Racice nel lontano 2018 che non è mai stato più superato. Ancora una volta sulle acque del lago di Varese l'equipaggio della Repubblica Ceca in grande spolvero che conduce le file di questa seconda batteria dell'otto femminile, seguito per la seconda posizione dalla Nuova Zelanda, ma ricordiamo solo la prima è utile al passaggio del turno.
The Czechs currently holding it, coxed by Lucy Vanilova in that 7 seat, as mentioned, back from that bronze medal position, Karolina Korakova in the 7 seat. They're holding it, New Zealand trying to inch closer, but as they come through 750, Tim, we'll see if there's time for the black unisuits of New Zealand.
Yeah, there certainly is plenty, of course, left to overhaul the Czech Republic if you're in that New Zealand crew. But they'll have to make a move right about now. I think New Zealand, with the slightly higher boat speed compared to the Czech Republics, it's all what? What would you reckon, Niamh? Is it 2 or 3 seats for the New Zealanders to make up?
I think with every stroke that they pull, it is getting 1 seat less. Their boat speed greatest at the moment. It looks like, you know, they have plenty of course left to get that one qualifying spot into the A final. And I know the supporters from New Zealand in that grandstand are going to start shouting from here, because we'll be able to hear them here in the 1,500 metre hut. And I know the crews on the water will start shouting for them as well. Great Britain over on the outside, though, stroked by 16-year-old Martha Shepherd. Quite young, but she is doing great as they currently sit in. I actually think they're after going into the lead, are they?
Yeah, fantastic rhythm there being set by the Hinksey Sculling School's Martha Shepherd there in the stroke seat. She's taking a crew in the lead of this race with 350 meters still left to go. They have put their bauble in front of both the Czech Republic and New Zealand. Romania also stepping up, just 1/3 of a length behind the crew from Great Britain. But wow, what a fantastic speed there coming off that crew from Great Britain. You'll be pleased to see that, Rob.
I'm pleased and I'm dead impressed. I think it's an absolutely phenomenal run from the British boat. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Ovviamente saranno gli ultimi 200 metri a mettere la parola fine, ma la Repubblica Ceca insieme alla Gran Bretagna vogliono sicuramente andare a contendersi l'unica piazza valida per il passaggio del turno. Solo il primo passa al turno, gli altri devono transitare dai recuperi. Cerca di infilarsi ancora anche la Romania con la Nuova Zelanda, che in questo momento cercano di cambiare marcia, ma la Gran Bretagna è saldamente al comando, come un proiettile verso il traguardo, con concentrazione, fanno i buchi nell'acqua per prendersi la vittoria che vogliono coi denti.
I think Great Britain have taken this one by the scruff of the neck at these closing stages. What a brilliant piece of rowing from them. Absolutely wonderful to take that automatic qualification spot ahead of the Czech Republic in second place, with New Zealand in third. But Great Britain, a terrific one. Well done to Martha Shepherd and Sophie Wrightson, the stroke and cox of that boat. Hugely impressive.
Sul traguardo quindi il sorpasso che vi stavamo annunciando si è avverato, quindi Romania che dal quarto è passato al secondo posto. Vittoria della Gran Bretagna, seconda la Romania, terza la Nuova Zelanda, quarta la Repubblica Ceca.
For the first heat of the men's eight's already underway. USA in 1, Germany lane 2, Romania lane 3, Great Britain in lane 4, Serbia 5. What can we expect here?
Yeah, we can expect a fantastic race, Rob. That's exactly what's unfolding just in front of Tomas and my eyes. At the moment, well, it's 2 to advance directly to final A, and that would be this combination from Germany with just the coxswain returning from last year's silver boat at the Junior Men's 8, the Junior World Championships. So Germany holding on to that qualifying position. Great Britain has the second spot. Then it's back to the USA running third, over to Romania, and then to Serbia. Tim, they're fast and furious, so we'll hand it straight to you.
Oltre a essere i protagonisti indiscussi dell'ammiraglia femminile, tornano a difendere il titolo mondiale anche nel settore maschile. Stiamo parlando degli Stati Uniti d'America, che pagano però lo scotto, perché è la Germania a condurre questa prima batteria del lotto maschile, seguita dalla Gran Bretagna per la seconda posizione.
Yeah, just picking it up here at the 1500, it looks great for the crew from Germany. They must have thought to themselves, es ist Akta Zeit. It's time to go, it's time for the eights, it's their time to shine, and they are doing so. With 500 meters to go, they are almost a full length ahead of Great Britain in second position, and behind them is the USA in third.
I wonder, Tim, are we going to have a repeat of the last race? Look at that Great Britain team as they just pass us there. Boat speed matching Germany at the moment, but we'll see if they can make that move. One of the crew there in the Great Britain boat, Zachary Day, 18 yesterday. I wonder, was he out last night celebrating?
Oh, I hope not. If I was his coach, I'd be furious if he had a drink here. But yeah, that crew from Great Britain really stepping it up, 39 strokes a minute, and really making up some grounds. They lost in the first part of this race to that fast crew from Germany, but Germany still in the lead. So Great Britain moving with them, and on the far side, it's still the USA in third.
E allora in chiusura si vola con una Germania che non solo stupisce ma sorprende in assoluto, una Germania che si è trovata lì davanti ai campioni del mondo e che non vuole mollare la scena, ma allo stesso tempo Gran Bretagna se ne accorge e prova ad approfittarne. Spesso sono proprio gli ultimi metri quelli che danno l'iniezione di fiducia e a cavalcare l'onda è la Germania che riesce davvero ad andare a dimostrare di essere la strapotente nel settore under 19.
This is fun, isn't it? It's going to be Germany, I think, but Britain are really pushing them all the way down to the line. It's Germany who are going to take the hooter first. They take it by just under 3/4 of the length ahead of Great Britain, but both those crews qualify directly for that A final. Coming home in third, it's the USA, followed by Romania, and then in lane 5, it's Serbia. Those last three crews will go again in the repechage. Second heat is underway in the men's 8 with China in lane 1, Ukraine lane 2, Australia are in lane 3, in lane 4 it's Italy, and lane 5 France. Colleen, all yours. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks very much. The local Italian fans will be delighted to know that Italy currently leading, but just barely over Australia, just like the prior round. It's 2 to advance to final A. Lots happening. France keeping themselves right in it too. The People's Republic of China, Ukraine in really good touch. I do have to give a special shout out to the 4-seat in the Italian shell, Giacomo Pabalardo. His father has been just a fantastic fantastic volunteer driving us each morning to our commentary positions. So a shout out, Paolo, to you and to this Italian crew who leads.
Marelli, Bricola, Meliani, Papalardo, Caldara, Di Stefano, Menicagli, Garruccio e Bozzetta. Abbiamo citato 8 nomi perché sono loro i protagonisti indiscussi di questa seconda batteria dell'8 Under 19 maschile. L'Italia che ancora una volta c'è e conduce le fila di questa batteria. In prima posizione l'Italia, seguita dall'Australia, poi la Francia. Le prime 2 imbarcazioni che taglieranno il traguardo andranno direttamente alla finalissima di questa specialità. È uno spettacolo vedere il ritmo da parte dell'Italia, che però in questo momento è tallonata da altre 3 imbarcazioni in corsia 5, 3 e 1. Solamente in acqua numero 2 l'Ucraina paga un po' lo scotto di una partenza fortissima. È veramente tirata questa batteria eliminatoria.
Absolute chills as these 8s move through the 1,000 into the second half of the race, and mid-third quarter up at the top of the field. Well, it's now the People's Republic of China. These crews absolutely level, so tightly packed. It is the People's Republic of China, then it's Italy running second, over to France running third, Australia in good touch, Ukraine in it as well. Tim, they're coming towards you. I'm sure you can hear them by now.
Yeah, we can, and we can hear the Chinese cocks all the way from our commentary position, 100 meters away from our position. We can hear them coming. It's fabulous to see 5 crews in one line coming towards the final 500 meters, so it's going to be a fantastic finish. I don't want to put my money on anything right now, but the People's Republic of China look very good, but it's just 1 meter ahead of the French and the Italians with 400 or 500 meters still left to go. It's anybody's race.
It is anybody's race, but I think People's Republic of China have just upped their speed slightly. They are trying to make their move here at the 1,500 meter mark. 4 of those rowers and the cocks raced in the World Cup 3 this year in the 8, finishing in 9th place. A bit of experience there, but look at this, the closest crew to us here. Look at France making their move there.
Oh wow, that's so impressive to see. It's very smooth rowing from the French 8, and they are moving into the lead. It's almost level with China, the big lads on the far side of the course, racing in red, still in the lead, but only just. France making a move. Italy going with them as well, and the Ukraine coming back into this, and I think the Australians just slipping back a little, but it's still China over France over Italy at this stage. Rob, it's going to be a fantastic final couple of 100 meters.
Oh, we're loving this race. They've been so tight all the way down the course, haven't they?
Una Francia che sta cercando di assaltare gli azzurri potentissimi in partenza, poi terzi al passaggio degli ultimi 1500 metri. Ora gli azzurri vogliono rientrare, Marelli, Bricola, Meliani, Pappalardo, Caldara, Di Stefano, Menicagli, Garruccio, Bozzetta stanno cercando davvero di rientrare, ma i riflettori si sposano ancora una volta verso la Cina, che riesce a volare in grande stile all'esterno, aggancia ancora anche la Francia per la prima posizione, quella che conta. Una Francia strabordante a 44-45 colpi al minuto. La Francia.
Look at France go here. Look at France. They're coming down to the line. France have taken first place. That is absolutely sensational from them. How did they get that timing so perfect? China takes second place. It's France and China who get those 2 automatic qualification spaces. Italy came home well, as I think Ukraine may have just taken third, Italy in fourth, and then Australia. What a fabulous, fabulous race. France, then China.
Una Francia davvero straordinaria, una Francia capace di passare dal 4° al 1° posto con una chiusura da brividi, una di quelle chiusure che dovremmo ricordare.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're a bit breathless after that, as I'm sure everybody is. That was the last of the heats for these championships. We now move on to the repechage, and they'll get underway in the next 5 minutes with the junior men's pair.
Dopo una mattinata davvero intensa, con l'inizio e il debutto di tutti gli altri juniores che si sono fatti attendere per 4 giorni prima di vederli e ritrovarli in gara, siamo arrivati all'atto dei recuperi. Tutto condensato in una sola mattinata, perché a questo campionato del mondo, abbinando le due categorie Under 19 ed Under 23, è stato necessario quindi comprimere tutte le gare con programmi ristretti sia al mattino che al pomeriggio. Una positività, questo garantisce grandi numeri e soprattutto un indotto importante, ma allo stesso tempo ci porta ad essere ovviamente molto concentrati su quello che andremo a vivere. Perché vi dico tutto questo? Perché abbiamo finito le batterie e alle 10:40 partono i recuperi. Tra 7 minuti esatti. Piccolo break per noi, ritorneremo alle 10:40 con la ripresa delle nostre regate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the repechage of the under-19 men's pair. In lane 1, the United States of America, Jonas Thiem and Alberto Lasso. Lane 2, South Africa, Conor McKelvey and Mark Carrera. Lane 3, the Netherlands, Gianni Perotti and Ben van den Ehrenbeemt. Lane 4, Kazakhstan, Yaroslav Melinikov and Timur Fomichiov. Lane 5, France, Pierre Piquet-Egli and Yuen Mer Apere. And lane 5, Egypt, Youssef Hamouda and Mohamed Messalam. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are underway in this repechage in the under-19 men's pair. USA, South Africa, the Netherlands, Kazakhstan, France and Egypt. First 3 across the line, still in with medal contentions by getting through to the AB semi-finals, but the remaining crews will be through to the C final for their overall ranking.
Rieccoci nuovamente dal campo mondiale della Ski-Run, rieccoci in diretta mondiale con World Rowing per seguire anche il blocco dei recuperi under 19. Ripartiremo col due senza maschile, due senza che vede 6 formazioni a contendersi le 3 posizioni per l'accesso in semifinale. È l'unica ed ultima chance per continuare la corsa iridata.
So all 6 crews here seem to have got off to a terrifically good start. Netherlands were the fastest, I think, of all the crews to make it through to the repechage. Let's get an idea from Colleen as to how they're doing in these early stages.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rob, and thanks very much, Luca. As you say, we've moved on to the repechage, which is the last chance for these athletes to make it into the semi-final A, B, and to have a go at getting into the A final. So it's 3 crews out of these 6 that will advance to semi-final A, B. And at the moment, it is the combination from France. So Yuen Apere and Pierre Piquet-Egli in the bow seat, making the best of it at 35 strokes per minute. And then just behind them, well, it's a really close battle between the Netherlands and South Africa for second. These 3 crews starting to really carve their path and push away Kazakhstan, Egypt, and I'd say the USA keeping themselves in there as well, but at the moment not top 3.
È la Francia in questo momento a condurre l'unico recupero del due senza maschile nella categoria Under 19, con un'Olanda veramente in grande spolvero che parte all'attacco per andare a passare in vantaggio la Francia. Miglior tempo tra i non qualificati in batteria per quanto riguarda l'Olanda, quindi sicuramente un equipaggio di grande livello. Attenzione perché anche la Repubblica del Sudafrica in corsia numero 2 cerca di dire la sua e rimane attaccata agli equipaggi di testa, ma Francia continua la sua corsa insieme all'Olanda, poi la Repubblica del Sudafrica per le prime 3 posizioni utili al passaggio del turno alla semifinale A e B. Gli altri equipaggi dovranno accontentarsi di presentarsi ai nastri di partenza della finale C. Siamo ormai agli ultimi 1100 metri di gara, ancora lunga la strada da percorrere per questi atleti impegnati nel due senza maschile, nel suo unico recupero, che vede ancora una volta l'Olanda a condurre con la conferma del tempo migliore in batteria. Ora qui al recupero innanzi a tutti a comandare la Repubblica del Sudafrica e la Francia in questo recupero.
Closing now in on that second quarter and moving through the halfway point. It's now the Netherlands leading France, who's running second, then South Africa and the United States just behind them. Would take a bit of work for the U.S. to pull up into one of those qualifying positions. Top 3 to semifinal A, B. Little bit of a breeze has picked up here at Lago di Varese, which has previously hosted the 2021 European Rowing Championships, and it'll be the site of next year's 2023 World Rowing Cup 2. These athletes moving through the third quarter of their race. Netherlands holding on to that first place position, taking it up now to 37 strokes per minute with Ben van der Rument in the stroke seat. So Tim, they're coming through 7:50 to go, and it's Netherlands in the lead.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just a quick update for you here. I'm joined by Andrea Proska from who is joining our commentary team here this week. With Neve, taking a little break there as we move through the repechages of the Under-19 Championships. The Netherlands in the lead, as you said, Colleen. Not by much though. France just half a length behind the Dutch, and then it's the third spot for South Africa's pair there. With the Americans, the two athletes from Los Gatos Rowing Club from California in fourth, and they have a lot of work to do, wouldn't you say so, Andrea?
Absolutely, and watching these athletes barrel down towards us, so excited that they're about to go by the banks. It's absolutely electric out there. It's a kaleidoscope of team colors and passionate parents. Many, I'm sure, are having absolute kittens from the anxiety of watching from the sidelines. But here they come, Tim. Who's first through?
Yeah, I'm pleased to say it's the Dutch. The combination of Gianni Perotti at bow and strokeman Ben van den Ehrenbeemt, both from Willem III Rowing Club from Amsterdam. They are leading this field, but the French crew look fabulous, look really strong, and we saw a very quick French 8 passing us just a couple of moments ago. So these athletes in the same system, they are just, I think almost a length back, but South Africa making a move there, trying to get back in contention and put some more distance between them and fourth placed USA for those 3 spots into the AB semi-final. So the Dutch, South Africa and France looking good, and a very nice tussle there from between Kazakhstan actually now moving back into the danger zone and trying to put some pressure on that crew from France and South Africa, but I don't think they're going to catch the very quick crews out in front, Rob.
No, it looks like we've got the 1, 2, 3 right now, but it's a really good performance from that boat from Kazakhstan. But Netherlands, France, South Africa in those prime positions at the moment.
Nella gara del riscatto tutto può succedere, il recupero d'altronde è l'ultima chance, o dentro o fuori, e tutti vogliono rimanere dentro. Lo sta dimostrando benissimo l'Olanda, che lì continua a fare da battistrada sulla Francia e il Sudafrica, ma il Kazakistan sta cercando di rientrare. Guardate questo divisa azzurra che prova a rinvenire al centro, ancora allunga il colpo l'Olanda, Olanda-Sudafrica. Poi per la terza posizione la Francia ad andare a prendersi le 3 posizioni per la semifinale.
Coming down to the finish line, Netherlands are going to hold on to that first spot. They've really taken hold of this. They take it by 3/4 of a length from either France or South Africa, but both are through to the semi-finals along with the Netherlands. So terrific race from those 3 boats. Netherlands, France, South Africa, they're through to the AB semi-finals. The remaining crews will contest the C final. We're on to repechage 1 of the men's quad sculls. Netherlands, Switzerland, USA, New Zealand and Latvia. How are they looking, Colleen?
Yeah, they look fantastic. I love the quads. They move so fast, and they're just a delight to view from where Tomas and I are perched here at the 1,000-meter mark. The USA, well, they were second at the 500 mark. They've managed to pull themselves ahead of the crew from Switzerland, but it's an absolute battle up at the top of the field. Those are our two front runners. It's the USA, Switzerland, and then back to Netherlands, their closest threat, the black unisuits of New Zealand and Latvia.
Primo recupero del 4 di coppia Under 19 maschile, che vede ancora una volta l'imbarcazione degli Stati Uniti d'America, che conferma di non essere da meno rispetto agli equipaggi già qualificati per le semifinali nel corso delle batterie di qualificazioni. Insieme agli Stati Uniti d'America ci sono la Svizzera e poi l'Olanda per le 3 posizioni utili al passaggio del turno alle semifinali A e B. Più arretrate invece Lettonia e Nuova Zelanda, che sono un po' più in difficoltà quando ormai mancano gli ultimi 500 metri al traguardo.
The USA keeping their bow just ahead of Switzerland, stroked by Ashton Perlroth in that USA crew. Ashton's father is one of his personal heroes. He says due to his work ethic, it's one of his greatest inspirations. Tim, these bios are making me cry.
Oh, yeah, I have a tissue for you if you need one, Colleen. Just come pick it up at the 1500. But wow, they're already here, these quads flying across the course. The USA still leading, but Switzerland stroked there by Nicolas Berger. Trying to get their bubble ahead, actually. They're really going for it. It's the USA just in front, but fantastic rhythm there being set in the crew from Switzerland.
And as the front two crews trade blows, Netherlands firmly in the 3rd place. They're fending off the challenge from the Kiwis. They're coached in the Netherlands. They're coached by Koos Maasdijk. Tim, don't be too hard on me there. A gentle giant who won gold in Atlanta in the Dutch 8.
Yeah, and a fun fact for you too, on the bow seat of that crew, Beer Florijn from the Netherlands, he's the son of Ronald Florijn, the double Olympic champion from the Netherlands, and his sister Caroline Florijn races as well. So another rowing family here at the course, well represented there. The Dutch in 3rd position, but look for a charge coming from the Kiwis in lane number 4.
Yeah, it's going the way of the USA at the moment. Switzerland and the Netherlands just holding off New Zealand, followed by Latvia.
Stati Uniti d'America, Stati Uniti ancora lì davanti a fare quello che è il ritmo, ma la Svizzera non ci sta e sta cercando di rientrare. Vedete, sono ancora punta a punta, ma nel 4 di coppia passano comunque le prime 3 posizioni, quindi a prescindere non dovrebbero esserci dubbi con Stati Uniti, Svizzera e Olanda che cercano di fuggire. La quarta contendere è la Nuova Zelanda, comunque lontana, quindi Stati Uniti d'America ancora nel gran riscatto.
It's the USA coming down the line to take 1st place. They take it by just under half a length there, ahead of Switzerland in lane 2. 3rd place, I think, is just taken by the Netherlands, which means they qualify for the AB semi-finals. So USA, Switzerland and Netherlands go through to the semi-finals. And it means that New Zealand and Latvia will be contesting the C final in the Med Squad Sculls. Second repechage of the men's quad sculls is underway with Romania in lane 1, Poland are in 2, Germany lane 3. In lane 4 it's Spain, lane 5, Australia.
Siamo pronti per un'altra grande battaglia, in questo caso con nuove formazioni e nuove nazioni a gareggiare. Romania, Polonia, Germania, Spagna ed Australia nel secondo recupero del 4 di coppia.
Colleen, that boat from Germany in lane 3, I expect there's a sort of added determination there because they were so close to qualifying directly from the heats.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point. When you don't qualify for the heats, and especially, for the next round, and it's an especially close heat, it makes that level of determination in the repechage all the more heightened, all the more intense. And I think we can see the Germans right now putting forth a race plan and a strategy that demonstrates just that. They're up at at 36, 37 strokes per minute, doing everything they can to catch the poles. In the Polish shell, it's Michael Randa in the 2-seat, who's the only returning athlete from last year's championships where he rode in this very event in the B final. He'll be looking to demonstrate leadership, I'm sure, and take his teammates with him to the A final. We'll see if they can do just that, because it's top 3 to advance. It's Germany, Poland up at the front, Romania running third.
Una Germania agguerritissima, una Germania che al passaggio dei 1000 metri riesce a porre la propria prua davanti alla Polonia. La Germania che nelle batterie ha addirittura messo a segno un tempo migliore rispetto ad alcuni equipaggi già qualificati per le semifinali. Spesso però gli atleti devono affrontare la cosiddetta sfortuna dei sorteggi, ma gli atleti del canottaggio internazionale come guerrieri non demordono mai, e Germania pronta ancora una volta ad andare alla conquista della semifinale con la Polonia. Lotta serrata per la terza posizione tra Romania, Spagna e Australia.
Well past the 750, and Tim, a little bit of a wind helping push them down the course, isn't there?
Yeah, the wind has picked up slightly. It's still a lovely tailwind, so that's really pushing these crews along all the way down the finish. And the two leading crews there from Poland and Germany, they look really smooth out there on the water. It's beginning to get a bit more bumpy, tiny waves forming due to the wind, but it's nothing these athletes can't handle with Germany in the lead, and it's really close between them and Poland. And behind them, it's very tense, Andrea, for the last position into the AB semi-finals, with Australia and Spain fighting it out. But watch that crew from Romania on the far side as well.
Oh my gosh, this is such an exciting part of the race. Nobody doubts that. Everyone in this race wants it, but which athlete now can believe that they will secure that final spot? Dig deep, legs down, chest up. We've already talked, Tim, about what this must be like as a parent to watch, but can you imagine what the coaches are thinking?
Oh, yeah, I can't. You're really nervous, and it's you can see the crews coming, and coaches watching from the bank, perhaps even listening in on the live feed to get some information on how their crews are doing. But yeah, as a coach, I've been a coach myself, I was always really nervous. I always thought that I was more nervous than some of my rowers, actually. But yeah, some of that nervousness will be lifted, though, in a couple of 100 meters, Rob, because the Germans and the Poles flying towards the finish, and third position relatively firmly in the grasp of that crew from Romania.
That's the way it looks, isn't it? Poland, Germany, Romania, meaning Australia and Spain, will be contesting the C final. But let's see how it finishes.
Davvero senza indugio, una Polonia capace di rimanere salda al comando, ma anche molto concentrata. Il problema però è la Germania, che in questo momento cerca di accorciare il gap. Non si vogliono semplicemente accontentare di una promozione ormai scontata, ma vogliono mettere in sicurezza non solo il tempo, ma anche una possibilità di una miglior semifinale rispetto a quell'altra, perché di fatto poi si tratta di un gioco di combinazioni. Quindi Polonia, Germania e Romania per le prime tre posizioni.
That's exactly as I see it too, Luca. It is Poland who come down to take first place. Second spot there going to Germany in lane 3. Romania taking that third semi-final qualification spot. And the last two crews coming home now with Spain and Australia. It will be a C final for them. But Poland, Germany and Romania through to the AB semi-final in the men's quad sculls. On to the repechage of the women's double sculls.
Doppio junior femminile, il primo recupero di specialità.
5 crews in this first heat contesting the first 2 places for the semi-finals, with Latvia in lane 1, Switzerland in 2, Ireland taking up lane 3 alongside Cyprus in 4, the USA in lane 5.
Lettonia in acqua 1, Svizzera in acqua 2, Irlanda in acqua 3, poi Cipro e Stati Uniti d'America.
Spoke earlier about the joy that we heard from Niamh when she was commentating with the Irish boats, but also saying that the Irish boats have really been impressive. all week here, Colleen, in both under 23s and under 19s.
Yeah, I share Neve's enthusiasm. I love watching Team Ireland race, and in particular, the second half of their race. They're fantastic sprinters, and you see that at the junior level, up to the U23s, all the way to the senior level. So they're right in the mix, in fact, holding on to one of those two qualifying spots. Switzerland leading this race, Ireland in really good touch with them. And then third, well, that's back to Latvia, with the USA maybe starting to make a move, then over to Cyprus. The stroke seat of the USA shell, that's Catherine Barry. Well, her sister Ella Barry is in the women's single at the under 23 level. So we've seen her race, and we'll see her throughout the week. And I had the chance to meet their grandfather. So hello to Grandfather Barry. Great to have you here. It is the under 19 women's double sculls. It's repechage 1. Switzerland leads.
Sono appannaggio di Svizzera ed Irlanda, le prime due posizioni utili al passaggio del turno in questo primo recupero del doppio Under 19 femminile. Staccano le altre imbarcazioni al passaggio ai 1000 metri del percorso. È un bellissimo punta a punta tra la Svizzera e l'Irlanda, con le altre imbarcazioni più arretrate pronte a volare verso la semifinale in questa specialità del doppio femminile. Allungano sempre di più, lo sguardo delle capovoga va sempre verso il centro del percorso, in quanto un equipaggio è veramente vicino all'altro, con Svizzera ed Irlanda in grande spolvero in questa specialità.
Through that halfway point, Cyprus just coming by us at the 1,000. Ekaterina Noskustova and Katerina Cantuno in the Cyprus shell. Up at the top of the field, well, Neve, you will be happy to hear that it is Team Ireland, and some great pedigree in the stroke seat. Holly Davis taking bronze last year in the junior women's double. They're coming towards you and Tim.
Yeah, they're really coming flying towards us, and all the time when we see these the green vests of the Irish crews in the lead at this stage, I would put my money on them to finish in one of the places qualifying directly for that AB semi-final. The remaining crews having to contend the CD final, but it's looking good. Ireland and Switzerland trading punches as they come along, but that Irish crew definitely in the lead over Switzerland. Switzerland almost a length back, but then it's clear water back to the crew from the USA with Hannah Peters and Catherine Barry there, racing in lane number 1, very close to our commentary position, and they are fighting the crew from Latvia on the far side of the lake with Kate Agare and Una Krasta in the stroke seat there, with the Americans holding on to third position, and the Irish now moving out very strongly with 500 meters to go.
So impressed with the suspension off the handles from these athletes. They're anchoring the blade in the water, pushing the boat past, and here they come through the 500 meter marks. They know that it's about to be over. In 250 meters, those buoys are going to change from white to red, but they're looking comfortably in front as we see Ireland come through first, Swiss about 3 seconds behind, and USA still holding on to that third spot, Tim.
Yeah, it's the USA. They are upping the rate slightly. I think they have just stepped up 1 or 2 pips in the last couple of strokes to try and get back in contention and try to keep their medal hopes alive. But the Swiss look to me to be way out in front of the Americans, almost 20 meters separating these two crews. But the Irish are just walking away, Rob. Fabulous to see. And Andrea, you mentioned that technique, that locking in the blade at the front end of the stroke. The Irish athletes do that so well. But Rob, how's it looking from where you're sitting?
Looking great. I think Ireland, as we've said again and again, has just been so impressive. The nation and the teams that they've brought here have really brought a smile. Switzerland also doing well in this race. USA, well, they're going to have to push really hard if they're to make it into the medal positions, as you say, come the day.
Le prime due posizioni, una selezione più stringente, un recupero che di fatto promuove solo 2 formazioni, ma abbiamo grandissimi nomi: Irlanda, Svizzera, Stati Uniti, Lettonia, Cipro, che rincorrono i sogni di gloria. L'Irlanda è però la più luccicante insieme alla Svizzera, e oramai in questi ultimi 150 metri non può che andare a confermarsi questa grande cavalcata trionfale che l'Irlanda ha impostato fin dal primo colpo.
Here they come, Anna Keating and Holly Davis from Ireland coming down to the finish line. What a race for them. They're through to the AB semi-final. They take that by 1, 2, 3, maybe 4.5 lengths ahead of Switzerland, who've managed to hold on to that second qualification spot. USA going hard, driving for the line. Just too late for them to make it through to the AB competition's closing stages. So they'll contest the CD semi-finals with our remaining crews from Latvia and Cyprus. But it's Ireland and Switzerland through to the AB semi-finals of the women's double sculls. Second repechage in the women's double sculls has Egypt in lane 1. Lane 2 is South Africa, Italy in lane 3. Austria 4, Spain 5.
Secondo recupero del doppio under 19 femminile con Egitto, Sudafrica, Italia, Austria e Spagna per l'Italia. Angelica Erpini, Francesca Rubeo.
Colleen, Italy, another one of the crews that really was so close to qualifying directly from the heats, just missing out.
Yeah, Rob, so close to qualifying, just missing out, as you rightly say. They're coming by now where we're positioned at that halfway point. And I heard the enthusiasm in Luca's voice for Francesca Rubeo, the 17-year-old. She's got fantastic pedigree, certainly has picked up a few medals in her junior days. We saw her representing Italy last year at the Junior World Champs, where she took silver in the women's quad, then at the European Championships in 2021. Taking bronze in the women's quad. So she's moved into the double and she's picked up Angelica Erpini as her bow seat and teammate, and they're moving through, holding the lead in this race.
Secondo recupero del doppio femminile che vede un'Italia costretta a presentarsi alla nastri di partenza di questo recupero, in quanto l'Olanda l'aveva staccata di solo 6 decimi di secondo nelle batterie eliminatorie. E qui sul percorso del recupero del doppio femminile in vantaggio i colori italiani con Angelica Erpini e Francesca Rubeo, che insieme all'equipaggio spagnolo, in questo momento in seconda posizione, volano verso la semifinale.
So up at the top of the field continues to be Italy holding on to that first qualifying position, Spain running second, then over to a really close Austria. So Tim, have an eye for us. Is Austria making a move?
So I think we'll take it over from here, Colleen. And yeah, there's a lot of excitement about this Italian crew because, as we say, they will have been hurting having got so close to the direct qualification from the heats. But it's Italy and Spain from Austria, South Africa and Egypt.
Sicuramente una gara del riscatto, una gara che permette a questa formazione azzurra di ritornare in gioco da grandi protagoniste. Angelica Erpini con Francesca Rubeo, classe 2005, hanno dimostrato nella prima parte del percorso di poter andare a mettere in chiaro le regole del gioco, e lo fanno anche al passaggio dei 1500 metri davanti all'Austria, terza la Spagna in questa specialità. Vediamo oggi assente l'Olanda, già qualificata ieri, campione del mondo in carica, e che di conseguenza sono tra le favorite assolute. Quindi Italia, Austria e Spagna al passaggio dei 1500.
Nearly a 3-second gap opening up between Italy and Austria at that last split timing at 1,500 meters. So Italy going well, taking control of this one from Austria. First two across the line will progress to the AB semi-final. So there's all to play for here. Spain are still trying to push the Austrian crew, going hard there to try and overturn them. But I think Italy have got control of this one at this stage out in front.
È veramente una gara che si accende. Da un lato c'è l'Italia, ma dall'altro la Spagna con una palata fluida, 36 colpi al minuto, stanno cercando di rientrare. In mezzo si va ad insidiare anche l'Austria, che cerca di trovare il giusto giro per andare a ridurre il gap. Vi ricordo che solo le due posizioni, la prima e la seconda, garantiscono l'accesso in semifinale, e se da un lato l'Italia vuole mettere in sicurezza la propria promozione, dall'altra l'Austria sta davvero cercando di andare ad assicurarsi la seconda posizione. Quindi Italia ed Austria anche negli ultimi 150 metri con la coppia societaria, ma qui maglia azzurra a farla da padrone, con una gara che devo dire è completamente diversa dal debutto in qualifica. Quindi un ben ritrovato ad Erpino Irubeo la coppia fiammante azzurra.
Italy come home to take first place by 3.5 lengths ahead of Austria in second. Those are the two crews who make it through then to the AB semi-finals as Spain come home to take third place ahead of South Africa and Egypt further down the course. So Italy held on, they got through, they did everything they needed to do. Angelica Erpini and Francesco Rubeo of Italy just coming home ahead of Austria's Emma Guzia and Greta Haider. They're through to the AB semi-finals.
Ed ecco la conferma che appare sullo schermo. Questo di fatto ci permette di dare l'ufficialità, ma allo stesso tempo anche di sorridere. 7:07:01 l'Italia alla grande davvero. Ottimo tempo. Brave ragazze, ci avete regalato una grande occasione oggi.
Let's go to the third then of these heats, repechage in the women's double sculls. Slovakia in lane 1, France in 2, Australia lane 3 and Romania in lane 4.
Slovacchia in acqua 1, Francia in acqua 2, con Australia in acqua 3, Romania in acqua 4, in questo terzo ed ultimo recupero riservato al doppio under 19 femminile.
So again, first two across the line through to the AB semi-final, and we seem to have a couple of boats just taking those positions now, Colleen.
Yeah, it's the French combination, Massamine and Desgeorges from France out of lane 2, holding on to that top qualifying position, and then the Australian combination of Noak Driver and Bond in the bow seat for Australia. For all of these crews, it's their international debut, the first taste of racing on the international circuit. So fantastic to see them here at Lago di Varese.
Francia ed Australia in solitaria al centro del percorso a condurre questo terzo recupero del doppio under 19 femminile. Iniziano ad assicurarsi la posizione utile per il passaggio alla semifinale A e B, mentre la Romania cerca di partire all'attacco, incrementare il numero dei colpi e palata dopo palata diminuire la distanza tra l'imbarcazione rumena con Australia e Francia, più arretrata invece della Slovacchia quando ormai siamo agli ultimi 600 metri di gara.
Tim, what can you tell us about this margin up at the top?
Well, that it's extremely small. It's there's nothing to choose between the two crews from Australia and France in the center lanes. It's it's difficult to split them. I think the French look to be moving, but that could be my eyes deceiving me. And the green and gold vest from the Australians now. I think these Australians are just in the lead with France, just a couple of feet back to them. But those two crews look fabulous out in front with the Romanian double of Gusa and Ifteni trying to get back in contention for one of those two spots in the AB semi-final. But you raced internationally, Andrea. Is this a margin the Romanians can make up and get into the AB semi-final? What is your estimate?
Well, as we know, anything can happen in the 250 meters and this 500 meters. They're running out of meters here, but they can definitely make a push. I actually raced in the women's double, so this is a situation I've been in once or twice before, Tim. The blood is pounding in your ears, and let's see if the crowd can cut through that noise with a cheer for these athletes as they push towards those red buoys, legs burning, probably your lungs gasping for air. Romanians certainly look like they're going to not leave anything on the water. Up at 38. Tim, what's your pick?
Yeah, well, the Romanians look fantastic. They have the highest boat speed by a country mile, making up every single stroke. And Australia still in the lead. France slipping back slightly. You really want that line to come right. You feel awful. It's hurting. You're out of breath. The lactic acid is burning through your muscles. So you're begging for the line. But fantastic to see that Romanian crew powering through that and almost catching up to France, Rob.
I think France are in a bit of trouble here. They're going to have to really put something down here to combat that threat from Romania. Look at them go.
Una battaglia che si accende, una battaglia che di fatto potrebbe cambiare quelle che sono le posizioni mantenute per tutto il percorso. Australia sicuramente in grande attacco, ma altrettanto potente è la Francia all'esterno. Tra i due litiganti però parte pericolosa la Romania, che in questo momento non solo fa paura all'Australia, ma fa paura anche alla Francia, che devono reagire. 3 formazioni per sole 2 posizioni, ora o mai più.
This is a phenomenal finish from all 3 crews. It's going to go right down to the wire. France just hold on to take first. I think Romania may have pipped Australia for the second spot. That will hurt. That will really hurt Australia. They were out in front, but I think Romania, what a performance from that crew, as we said. They came through, they battled through to initially go to second place, but I think they have overtaken Australia, and that has been confirmed. It's France and Romania who go through to the AB semi-final, and Australia, Slovakia will be contesting the CD semi-finals, and there's absolutely no disgrace in that. We're now into the reps of the junior women's double sculls with Mexico, Japan, Canada and Thailand.
Siamo arrivati all'ultimo recupero, sempre riservato al settore rosa, Messico, Giappone, Canada, e a seguire la Thailandia. 4 formazioni, 2 posizioni valide, siamo ai 1000 metri. Cosa starà succedendo?
And Colleen, it's great that the Thai crew, benefiting from the Masters Fund for Youth Rowing, every year the Masters Commission collects €1 per seat entered at the Masters Regatta, which is then donated to the Youth Commission for the development of juniors in a selected development country. This year, the fund is supporting the Thai coach and the team, the junior team of the junior men's double sculls and the junior women's double sculls, as well as the under-19 men's single sculls from Vanuatu. It's a terrific initiative.
Yes, a terrific initiative indeed. And in fact, Rob, as you tell us about that, this Thai combination just coming by the 1,000-meter mark. So it's Ponthida Tup Thai in the stroke seat, setting the rhythm. Nachita Kaihum in the bow seat, representing Thailand, and doing so in style now into the 3rd quarter of their race. Up at the top of the field, the Canadians. So it's Anna Pementer in the stroke seat, Kate Whittard in the bow seat, holding on to that advantage over Japan. Then it's Mexico and Thailand.
Il Canada a prendere le redini della prima posizione di questo quarto recupero del doppio Under 19 femminile nelle batterie, con un tempo di 7:16, sul Giappone con un tempo di 7:19. Si ripresentano allo stessa maniera le posizioni in acqua, con il Canada veramente in grande spolvero, Giappone per la seconda posizione, poi Messico, tagliata fuori la Thailandia in quarta.
Anna Pementer of Canada in the stroke seat, the only of these athletes with international experience, which Tim and Andrea, I'm sure, there's a bit of enthusiasm from Canada at the moment at the 1500.
Yeah, we're really excited, and Andrea was already talking about this crew way before the racing started, so I'll hand you to Andrea to talk about that fabulous double from Canada.
Of course, we're completely unbiased here in the commentator's tower, but a little flutter of excitement as I see those Canadian blades about to cross the 500-meter mark. Those Canadian maple leaves only put on our blades during World Championships or Olympics. So what a special moment for this quiet, confident, strong crew. Kate is part of our development next-gen pathway, and Anna came 10th at Junior World Championships last year, and it looks like that experience is paying off for this combination, Tim.
Yeah, it looks to me like they're moving away from the Japanese double, who deserve a shout-out in their own right, with Tokita there in the stroke seat, setting a very cool 34 strokes a minute for his for the bow of that crew. Kanematsu, and following that, it's fantastic to see. They've put some more distance into the crew from Mexico, racing from lane 1, so I think we have our 1-2 secure there for the AB semi-final. Mexico in 3rd position, and then it's Clearwater back to Thailand in 4th, but Mexico, I don't think the Mexican double will make up this big of a margin, Rob, but anything can change in these races, so I'll leave it to you to call it all the way down to the line.
You're absolutely right, and we've seen it time and time again. Maybe not in this race. Maybe it will, though. You never know. It's the joy of sport. It's the joy of rowing. Canada and Japan leading the way home.
Un Canada stratosferico, un Canada che sta dimostrando di gettare nuove basi per un futuro da grandi protagonisti. Lo stanno dimostrando alla Schierana di Varese, a questo campionato del mondo, e lo vogliono fare anche tra gli under 23. Guardate che belle queste due atlete canadesi che con la loro treccia zompettante volano verso il traguardo davanti al Giappone. Una gara già scritta, saranno queste le due nazioni a darci l'arrivederci in semifinale.
Canada looking confident of closing this one out. They're just holding off the challenge from Japan, but it is the first two crews who will progress to the AB semi-final. That's the hooter for Canada, nearly 2 lengths clear of Japan in second place. Good race for the two of those crews. And coming home in third place, Mexico, just not able to make up the gap there between them and the two leaders. Mexico will be joining the Thai crew in the CD semi-finals. Thailand just coming down with a few more meters to go. Let's hear it for them, ladies and gentlemen. Give them a big push as they head down towards the finish line. We now move on to the repechage for the men's double sculls.
Ci spostiamo ora ai recuperi del doppio maschile.
And we have Cyprus, we have Mexico, we have Egypt, Slovenia, New Zealand, and Thailand, and we have Colleen.
Yeah, it's a tour around the world, isn't it, Rob? Some 62 nations represented at both the under-23 level and the U19 level combined. At the moment, well, it's Slovenia holding on to that lead. Mate Marcusa setting that rhythm. Gabriel Potočnik in the bow seat. Cool 33 strokes per minute. It's 4 to advance to the quarterfinals, so the last 2 spots is where you don't want to be.
800 metri al traguardo per l'unico recupero del doppio maschile. Siamo con la Slovenia in corsia numero 4 a condurre il gruppo di testa di questo recupero, con la Nuova Zelanda in seconda posizione. Poi la Thailandia con Cipro, più in difficoltà invece Messico ed Egitto, che potrebbero slittare verso la finale E di questa specialità. I primi 4 ai quarti di finale, gli altri in finale E.
So, Tim, loads of athletes making their international debut, but this Slovenian combination, we saw them last year in the B final in this very event. For sure, their goal is to get into the A final this year.
Yeah, it's really all about stepping up from last year and improving yourself, and see how you stack up compared to the rest of the world. That's a crew from Slovenia looking good. They are a length ahead of New Zealand. But Andrea, we were just talking a bit about goes through the athletes' heads and what they were talking about when they are in the final parts of the race. So, for example, the crew from Cyprus on the far side is like, what's going through their head at 500 to go?
Well, you know, these athletes are professionals, so they're going to have a race plan. That means maybe broken down into 250 meters. But within there, we know, Tim, anything can happen, changing conditions, changing fields. So we would have what we call traffic light moments. Green light, everything's going according to plan. Yellow light, we got to be aware, keep focused, maybe a power 10 push. Red light, it is time to go. And where do you think these crews are right now?
Oh, well, I think that the crews from Egypt and Cyprus definitely at a red light moment now, because 3 crews leading this. It's Slovenia, New Zealand and Thailand racing with here in very close to our commentary position. That's your 1, 2, 3. But on the far side, lane 1 and lane 3, Egypt and Cyprus definitely having that red light moment. They need to go now to get into the quarterfinal, Rob. Very nice racing here. 3 crews safe, but who's going to get that last spot into the quarterfinal?
Yeah, it's always interesting, isn't it, to take your eyes away off the leader and just see what's happening in the battle for those qualification spots.
Una di quelle gare che ovviamente vuoi seguire fino in fondo. Pensate, 4 piazze disponibili e qui per il quarto posto si lotta come non mai. La Slovenia con la Nuova Zelanda stanno di fatto facendo la differenza insieme alla Thailandia, ma per la quarta posizione ci sono Cipro ed Egitto in gran rimonta per provare a continuare a sognare in grande a questo campionato del mondo. Ed eccola là la Slovenia che cerca di volare via davanti all'Australia per togliersi fuggiti dal pericolo, ed è così che in acqua 4 la Slovenia con questi due nuovi talenti è pronta a festeggiare un'ulteriore promozione.
It's Slovenia who take first spot ahead of New Zealand, are going to come home just holding on to second, with Cyprus out in lane 1 in third. And the battle for that final qualification spot has been won by the crew from Thailand. What a great race from them. What a push. And they have done fabulously well to qualify for the next stage of competition. Coming home in lane 3 is Egypt, and they're followed home by Mexico. So it is Egypt and Mexico who will contest the E final for overall rating or rankings from 25 onwards. But what a finish. Slovenia, New Zealand, Cyprus and Thailand through to the quarterfinals. The repechage in the men's single sculls has just got underway. The lineup has Slovenia, Aljaž Konstelja in lane 1. For Chinese Taipei in lane 2, Lin Chen. In lane 3 for South Africa, Sasha Mozig. In lane 4 for Puerto Rico, Alexander Chapui. And in lane 5, Kazakhstan, Artem Matusevic.
Ed ora noi possiamo spostarci all'ultima grande specialità di questa mattina. Stiamo parlando dei singoli sia maschili che femminili. Per quanto riguarda il recupero maschile, il primo del nostro programma, Slovenia con Taipei, Sudafrica, poi ancora il Kazakistan e il Perù.
So to place in the quarterfinals for the first two across the lines in these two repechage and the men's single sculls. Early stages, about 300 or so meters gone. A little bit early to call right now. I don't know if you want to pick this up, Colleen, or we can carry on in here for a while. Entirely up to you. How are you feeling?
Tomas and I are always delighted to bring you the racing from the 1,000-meter mark, so we'll pick it up happily. It is too early to call, that's for sure, as you rightly say. It's still pretty early in the race, but we do see these athletes coming towards where we're positioned at the 1,000-meter mark, getting a sense of timing in just a moment. But the men and women's singles sculls, they're often an opportunity for young, talented athletes to really shine. And it's worth noting that the under-19 men's single sculls sees the biggest entry across the board with some 29 nations represented. So a very, very competitive field. It's going to make for fantastic racing in these repechage as the athletes move through the first quarter of their race.
Ancora una grande opportunità per le atlete impegnate nel primo recupero del singolo Under 19 femminile. Sono 5 le imbarcazioni in gara in questo recupero che vede la Repubblica del Sudafrica, che aveva totalizzato addirittura l'8º tempo nelle batterie di qualificazioni, ora pronta a proiettarsi verso i quarti di finale in questa specialità insieme a Taipei. Però attenzione alla Slovenia che in corsia numero 1 all'interno del percorso parte all'attacco e va verso il recupero di Taipei in questo momento, con Porto Rico in quarta posizione, poi Kazakistan che, se vogliono andare a prendere le redini dei quarti di finale, dovranno partire all'attacco il prima possibile. Bella l'azione della Repubblica del Sudafrica in corsia numero 3, che continua la sua corsa verso il traguardo, con la Slovenia in seconda posizione. Attenzione anche a Taipei per la terza.
You heard Tomas. Attenzione. Here comes Taipei. Lindsay Chen doing a fantastic job in nearly the first half of the race, keeping himself ahead, coached by Huangxi Shan. And first at the 500 timing marker, looking to be first at the 1,000 at a cool 30 strokes per minute. So understroking the majority of these athletes across the board. He knows, of course, that it's just 2 that will advance to the quarterfinal. In that second place qualifying position at the halfway point, it is South Africa's Sasha Mozig.
Taipei continua ad andare a volare con il passaggio ai 1.000 metri del percorso innanzi a tutti, seguito dalla seconda posizione della Repubblica del Sudafrica, poi ancora il Kazakistan in terza posizione, con la Slovenia e Porto Rico, quando ormai mancano gli ultimi 900 metri di gara. Bella l'azione dell'atleta cinese di Taipei, che precede tutti gli altri in questo primo recupero del singolo Under 19 femminile.
So it's heating up at the top of the field. Taipei, Lindsay Chen continuing to hold on to that advantage. But South Africa's Sasha Mozig, coached by Bevan Stevens, inching 1 stroke at a time, just a little bit closer. Top 2 to advance. So Slovenia, Tim, would be their biggest threat.
Yeah, Slovenia is right up there, but I'm also looking at Matsufic from Kazakhstan, who is having a fabulous second kilometer here. He's really encroaching on the lead from Lindsay Cheng from the Chinese Taipei and South Africa's Sasha Mosig. They are the 2 front runners, but a fantastic race from Kazakhstan sculler here.
And Kazakhstan has that beautiful flag, the gold sun with 32 rays above a soaring eagle on that cyan field. And if he had didn't have that laser focus as he comes through the last 250, he'd be able to take a peek to his right and see the Varese Rowing Club, where we have all countries' flags represented. It's such a special moment to put on your country's flag and to race. And I imagine, especially in this junior field, your coaches are going to be talking to you about the definition of success, which in this race means executing your race plan, putting the boat back on the rack, proud of how you represented your country. And they're representing their country well across the field here, Tim.
Yeah, it's fantastic to see, and it's such a privilege to represent your country, and all these athletes doing that fantastically. But it's Kazakhstan sculler, it's Matsufic moving through, actually. We thought this race was done and dusted by the kilometer, and look at him, he's really powering through. So where we thought that the Chinese Taipei and South African scullers would easily take those 2 spots in the quarterfinal, it's now Kazakhstan leading this race, so it's going to be a fight between the other two scullers, Lin Chi-cheng and Sasha Mosik, for that last spot into the quarterfinal. Heartbreak for the third athlete across the finish, but a fantastic race there from Kazakhstan scullers, Rob.
Isn't that impressive? And it looks like it's the South African sculler who's flagging. But what a great description of the Kazakhs flag. And we may yet see that on finals day, flying high above the victory pontoon.
Ovviamente questo può essere un grande augurio, il Kazakistan sta davvero facendo un lavoro straordinario, pensate, quarto ai primi 500 metri, terzo al passaggio dei 1000 metri, ora secondo ma ad accarezzare addirittura il sorpasso su Taipei. Per la terza posizione il Sudafrica, vi ricordo che solo le prime due garantiscono il passaggio del turno e allora adesso inizia la corsa verso la verità. Riuscirà ovviamente a mantenere questa grande piazza d'onore Taipei o verrà assaltato dal kazako all'esterno in corsia 5? Tutto da scrivere, dovrebbero essere queste le posizioni, oramai non abbiamo dubbi.
Still a battle going on here, but I think that the South African athlete has been dropped now from contention. Coming up to the finish line, it is Lin from Chinese Taipei. Takes it with a win. Fabulous race from him. 2.5 lengths ahead of Kazakhstan's Artem Matusevic. What a race from him to claim that second quarterfinal spot as the final two crews come home. Desperate disappointment there for Slovenia and a little bit of disappointment for Mosik of South Africa. But Lin of Chinese Taipei, Matusevic of Kazakhstan make it through to the quarterfinals. The remaining crews will be through to the contest, the E final. Repechage number 2 in the men's single sculls. Japan are taking up lane 1 alongside Switzerland in lane 2. Lane 3 is Croatia. Sri Lanka are in lane 4.
Secondo recupero del singolo under 19 maschile, Giappone e Svizzera, Croazia e Sri Lanka, anche qui 2 posizioni valide.
Any clear leaders yet, Colleen?
Yeah, so at the 1,000-meter mark, we just had the chance to see Nicholas Chambers from Switzerland looking really solid as he came through the halfway point. That second place position, it's the Croatian sculler Joshua Nikocha holding on to second, and then over to third, it's Japan Yuki Magayuchi over in lane 1, and out of lane 4, Sri Lanka, just 14 years old, so fantastic to see Shailan Gunarta here, 14-year-old, and representing Sri Lanka, his other teammate in the women's single sculls, doing a fantastic job at about 7:50. Up at the top, though, it's Switzerland.
Il secondo recupero del singolo maschile è condotto dallo svizzero Nicolas Chambers, che ai 700 metri del percorso continua la sua corsa verso il traguardo. Una lotta a 2 poi per la seconda posizione tra Giappone e Croazia, con una quarta posizione invece delineata dallo Sri Lanka, che schiera un atleta giovanissimo, solo 14 anni. È bello vedere l'azione di questo atleta che ci prova comunque per andare alla conquista della finale E e ritornare ancora una volta in acqua per gareggiare la schieranna di Varese.
Tim, we saw last round, anything can happen. What's happening at the 1,500?
Yeah, well, from where we're sitting, we can see a very strong push from Nicholas Chambers from Switzerland. He's taken almost a full-length lead out of the Croatian sculler right next to him. Both these athletes raced before at the under-19 level in the men's coxed 4, but it's Chambers from Switzerland moving ahead and almost 3/4 of a length ahead of Croatia, followed by Japan.
Little bit of overlap for all 3 boats there. The 500 meters, such an exciting place, Tim. This is where you turn the dial. You're applying slightly more power. You're increasing your rate. You're getting ready for that final sprint. The questions are coming. How deep do I need to go? Can I maintain this pace? And it looks like these athletes are showing their maturity, including Sri Lanka. My goodness, as someone who started rowing at 27 years, 14 years, amazing. What were you doing at 14, Tim?
Oh, a lot of things, but none of them was rowing and racing here at the Under-19 World Championship. So hats off to Gunaratna from Sri Lanka there for racing all the way down the line. Give him a big hand when he comes past your past the grandstand, because it's an absolute fabulous performance. Great to see him here racing. But yeah, the front of the field, Switzerland and Croatia, they look good, wouldn't you say so, Rob, for those two spots in the quarterfinals?
Yeah, they're looking very good indeed. They've probably got hold of this one now, and not too many threats coming from further down the course, but always worth keeping an eye on the chasing pack, just in case anything should happen. But as you rightly say, it's Switzerland from Croatia.
And it's really, really good to see Nicholas Chambers, his dad, Bill from Australia, moved all the way from Australia to Swiss. And there is a new star growing up here on Lake Varese. Una grande vittoria sicuramente per la Svizzera, una vittoria che profuma d'Australia. Ed eccolo là in corsia numero 2 davanti alla Croazia per la terza posizione. All'esterno il Giappone.
Well, it's going to be very, very tight for this second and third spot, and it goes to Croatian, and that's a terrific second place from him. First place is held on to by Chambers of Switzerland, and second place is Nicosia of Croatia. Now onto the repechage in the women's single sculls.
Siamo arrivati all'ultimo recupero di giornata, il singolo under 19 femminile.
Our last event of the morning session, with Sri Lanka taking up lane 1 alongside Chinese Taipei in lane 2, Hungary in 3, Slovenia lane 4, and Tunisia in lane 5. And Colleen, you're in your commentary hut, aren't you?
We're in our commentary hut, Rob. It's absolutely perfect here at the 1,000. And you join us, well, exactly when these athletes are crossing into the third quarter of the race. Up at the top of the field from Slovenia, it's Jana Drahme doing a fantastic job. Great experience. We saw her last year in the junior women's double, where she took 4th, so just off the podium. We've talked about heartbreak. That's another kind of heartbreak, where you're just so close to coming home with a medal. Fantastic, of course, to be in that 4th place position, a top honor to get into the A final, but surely we'll see her coming back at the 2022 championships, looking to get onto the podium this year. So she's leading this repechage 1.
Primo recupero del singolo under 19 femminile, con Ungheria e Slovenia che hanno dimostrato nelle batterie di qualificazione di avere le pile cariche alla stessa maniera, tanto da aver totalizzato lo stesso identico tempo. Ora però nei recuperi brillano i colori della Slovenia in corsia numero 4, che ha una marcia in più rispetto all'Ungheria. Attenzione, perché anche la Slovenia in corsia numero 5 parte all'attacco per rientrare nelle prime posizioni utili al passaggio del turno, i primi 3 in semifinale A e B, gli altri in finale C, con Taipei e Sri Lanka in quarta e quinta posizione.
So Tim, top of the field coming towards you. How is it looking? 3 clear leaders at this point?
Yeah, and 3 leaders. I think the 3 leaders from Hungary, Slovenia and Tunisia already easing off slightly, because it's a clear water advantage over the sculler from Chinese Taipei. That's Lai Yu-ru, and Sri Lanka's VS Sekera. She is also clear water back, but yeah, the 3 front runners, I must say, look really composed, with Dremelje from Slovenia leading this field. And yeah, it's a repechage, Andrea. It's there's lots riding from this, but if you're so far ahead as these athletes are, what is your plan for the last 500? Is it just cruising home? Do you want to win this, or would you settle for second place, or, well, thinking enough is enough, I'm in and through to the AB semi-final. What's your thoughts on this?
What a great question there, Tim. So it's a long race in the single scull. There, it's very vulnerable. All your successes are your own. All your failures are your own. And as we know in these junior races, these U19 races, there is such an opportunity for growth between these races. They're perfecting their race plan. They're perfecting their pushes. So if I was in these athletes' seat, there'd be one word going through my head: opportunity. Opportunity to execute my plan, opportunity to practice that race sprint so that when it comes down to that one important race or two important races, you are ready.
Yeah, and with the heats not really going the way of these athletes, it's good to build some confidence into your racing as well. And I think being confident with your ability as a rower is such an important asset to have, because if there's any doubt in your mind, especially in the single scull, that's really dangerous and makes you vulnerable for an attack from your competitors. So yeah, great to see these athletes racing. They're almost at the Red Bull area, Rob, which means just 250 meters left to go.
Yeah, and that'll decide who makes it through to those AB semi-finals. The first three across the line will do that. The remainder will contest the C final.
Slovenia continua ad allungare e cerca di agganciare anche l'Ungheria. Sono queste le due nazioni che vogliono mettere in sicurezza la loro promozione, ma attenzione alla Tunisia che in questo momento resta comunque molto vicina. Quindi la Slovenia con Ungheria e Tunisia per andare al passaggio del turno in una marcia trionfale, devo dire, perché la Slovenia, dopo aver dimostrato di avere grandi chance anche nel doppio, ora in singolo costruisce una nuova generazione di canottieri. Ebbene, quindi Slovenia, Ungheria e Tunisia. Arrivederci in semifinale.
Jana Dremelj of Slovenia coming down to take first place here, and she does it by a clear length ahead of Hungary's Luka Padar. So those are the first two across the line. Who's going to be the third person to qualify for those semi-finals? It is Tunisia's Hala Belhaji Mohamed. So well done to her, well done to the three of them. Slovenia, Hungary and Tunisia through to the AB semi-finals. The remaining crews through to the C final. Repechage number 2 in the women's single sculls. Egypt are taking up lane 1 alongside the USA in lane 2. Lane 3 is the Czech Republic, lane 4 Latvia and Moldova in lane 5. Oh, that's a very loud hooter.
It was.
Colleen, over to you.
No hooters yet, Rob. We're only at the halfway point, but we're delighted to tell you what we're seeing. Well, it's the Czech Republic out in the lead. Veronika Zamonska back, the winner of the B final in the junior women's quad at the 2021 Junior World Championships. It's top 3 to advance to semifinal A, B. So it's the Czech Republic holding first, and the young sculler, she's just turned 15, Olivia Petri from the USA, holding second, and then back to a close Latvia.
Ultima gara della mattinata, il secondo recupero del singolo femminile che vede la Repubblica Ceca nel corso delle batterie fu costretta a cedere il passo all'atleta italiana per soli 12 centesimi di secondo. Pensate, ora ritorna nel recupero veramente in grande spolvero l'atleta Veronika Zamonstra che conduce sugli Stati Uniti d'America Olivia Petri, poi la Repubblica di Moldavia. Sono queste le 3 posizioni che porteranno gli equipaggi ad accedere alla semifinale A e B. Purtroppo Lettonia ed Egitto pronte a proiettarsi nella finale C.
And forgive me, as they come through 750, yes, it is the Czech Republic leading, but not to be left out, Moldova currently running second. So Ekaterina Fedorenko holding on to that second place. The USA running third, Latvia in fourth.
Yeah, the work is for the Latvian sculler Freimane to do with just 3 crews to the AB semi-final from this repechage. The Latvian sculler has her work cut out. She is currently a little over a boat length back from the front runners with the quickest non-qualifier from yesterday, the Czech Republic's Zamonosna, in the lead, looking comfortable, tapping it along. 29 strokes a minute, looking comfortable at this stage of the race. So, but she will obviously take a very close look at the other crews because, in the previous rep we saw a huge gap for the first three, but these are four scutters relatively close together with 500 meters to go. A big sprint could change everything.
Absolutely, and we've seen time and time again that these races can change in the last 500, so let's not write anyone off. Overlap through all four crews as they come through that 500-meter mark, and this is where the athletes have to have absolute trust in their race plan. Stick to that plan with the blood pounding in your ears and execute. You're in the downhill portion of the race, Tim. You're running out of meters and you know you're going to have to do something spectacular to secure that seat to the semifinal AB.
Yeah, and you can do that by starting sprinting earlier, which we've seen so many crews do. If you're down at 500 to go, just go 100, 200 meters earlier than you perhaps wanted to go, because you're at that red sign, which we talked about earlier. It's a go, go, go time with 350 still meters to row. We can see a slight change of gear there from Latvia, but it's a tall order to catch up with America, the Czech Republic and Moldova, currently the 1, 2, 3 leading this race.
Yeah, with the Czech Republic out in front, Zamostna is still leading the way home and looking good as well, looking very comfortable. Moldova's Fedorenko also holding on to second, ahead of Olivia Petri of the USA, claiming third at the moment.
Ed ecco quindi la furibonda atleta della Repubblica Ceca, furibonda perché sbattuta fuori da Aurora Spirito proprio ieri, oggi cerca il gran riscatto, un riscatto che lo vuole conquistare non solo di potenza ma anche dimostrando di poter fare il colpo grosso, ma ovviamente ora diventa pericoloso perché gli Stati Uniti d'America stanno cercando di allungare ancora, quindi attenzione perché anche in corsia 5 la Moldavia cerca di rientrare, si apre la battaglia, 4 atlete, 2 posizioni.
Yeah, it's really developing into quite a finish here, but first place is going to go to Czech Republic. That was the hooter for them. Petri of the USA coming home in second. Third place going to Moldova's Fedorenko, just holding off the challenge there of Latvia's Freeman. But what a great effort from her. She'll be very upset not to have just made it through, but a terrific effort from all the crews here. Czech Republic, USA, Moldova are the crews through to the AB semi-final. The remaining crews will contest the C finals. Our final competitor, El Sobki from Egypt, comes down in lane 1.
Veronika Zamstina con Oliva Petri nell'ordine Repubblica Ceca e Stati Uniti festeggiano quindi la loro promozione al passaggio del turno. Tutte le altre le rivedremo comunque, in ogni caso a prescindere, ma in finale C.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes this morning's racing here on day 4 on the beautiful Lake Varese here. And the Under-19 championships have been so well contested. The repechage are over now, and we are going to be heading towards the sharp end of the competition. This afternoon, it's the Under-23s who will be taking to the water again. We've got AB semi-finals to look forward to from 2 o'clock this afternoon. There'll also be some CD semi-finals, and we'll end the afternoon with a handful of C finals as well. So plenty more action to come here on Lake Varese today.
Con questa regata abbiamo concluso la nostra mattinata, ma non è finita qui. Questo pomeriggio saremo nuovamente insieme voltando pagina, cambiando categoria. Ci sposteremo con gli Under 23 con il primo grande blocco di semifinali. A seguire ancora qualche finale, le prime finali di fatto di questa categoria saranno le finali C, per carità, però sarà un'occasione anche per vedere molti atleti che andranno a concludere la loro avventura mondiale. Quindi dalle 14 alle 16:15 nuovamente insieme per il canottaggio Under 23 mondiale.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting on for a lunchtime now. And for our athletes, it may be a very good time, great opportunity to go and visit the World Rowing Integrity booth, which is open in the boat park near the catering tent. You see how it's perfectly placed for you. It's open until 5 this afternoon, but it's the World Rowing Integrity